the sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yes.
Holiday for many.
Yep.
No mail, no bank.
No mail, no school.
No school.
Yep.
Yep.
A lot of folks that I know just staring at the backside of their eyelids right now.
No trash removal today. There'll be plenty of trash.
Oh, lots of trash. I mean, it's right here.
Yeah. No removal.
Case in point.
But happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day and enjoying the day off for those that get to enjoy that today. So, congratulations to the Chiefs fans out there. And I guess
The San Francisco 49ers.
yeah, 49ers fans. Not so much the Cowboys fans.
It presents an interesting challenge, though, because
And Buccaneers fans, I guess you could say.
Bucks.
And Bills fans.
By
Gonna
the
go-
way, I read the story today. Did you know that for the first time in NFL history, a team played a perfect game on offense yesterday?
Who's that?
The Buffalo Bills.
They didn't play
Of
yesterday.
all freaking teams,
They played Saturday.
yes, that's what. Sorry, Saturday. But of all the teams to pull off a perfect offensive game, the Buffalo Bills.
Bills are pretty good this
7
year.
possessions, 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
They didn't get, they didn't, lose any yards. Every single yard they pushed forward for forward momentum, with the exception of the 2 kneel downs they took at the very end of the game.
And Pats fans are just still thinking, man, why is Tom Brady in Tampa Bay?
What happened?
Yeah. Sorry, New England. Your weather's too bad. I mean, look at it. I was watching the Tampa Bay game against Philly, and they're showing the pregame interviews, and there's Gronk in t-shirts and shorts, just sitting in the sun, chilling. And you're like, yeah, these two have no desire to go back to New England. It's like they're living large in Tampa Bay. Don't they get good tax rates there in Florida?
Oh, sure.
I think, and I mean, it's just sunny tropical weather. Yeah, I'm sure they're loving being in a Bucs uniform, winning Super Bowl still. Nothing's changed for them. They don't have Belichick crawling up their butt.
Right. Yeah. Their coach actually smiles every now and again.
Well, Arians could be a character too. He's not like Gestapo like what's his name up in New England is, but
Yeah.
But Arians, he's a player's coach, but he's got a few notable quotes out there over the years of things he's said and has done over the years with the various teams he's coached. But yeah, sorry, Cowboys fans. That was. Did you watch that game?
I watched little snippets of it. I had far more important things to watch, like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for the 17th time.
I've not seen that yet.
Have you not?
The cartoon one?
Yes,
No, I
dude,
haven't
it is
seen
so good.
I have not watched
it. Besides the last Spider-Man movie I watched, Far From Home.
Yeah, I haven't watched the one in theaters yet.
It's the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. It's so well put together. Is got
it Spider-Man or Spider-Man?
It's Spider-Man. Tom Spider-Man. But no, it's really good.
Good. All right, I just never check. I have a hang up with cartoons. I don't know what it is.
It's not okay. If you can suspend the idea that it's a cartoon, it's not very cartoony. Like it's animated, but the animation style they use is so like true to life. It's
yeah, and I get that it's a different time and all that. I just grew up, kids watch cartoons. When you're adult, I get it, South Park and all those, but a cartoon of superheroes, I'm like, that's not for me. That's for children. but that's me. That's my own hang up. But yeah, no, the Cowboys game. Did you see the ending? That's where I got, because it was.
I heard it got ugly.
Well, they ran out of time.
Yeah,
they ran out of time, and they did a running play and ran out the clock. And
he didn't spike the ball.
Well, they tried to spike it, but they forgot that the umpire has to touch the ball before they can start the play.
Oh.
And they didn't give them time to do that, and so therefore the defense couldn't set. So they ran out of time.
Mm-hmm.
McCarthy's trying to defend it this morning, saying there should have been plenty of time, and he may or may not be right. The refs, it was a little weird, but your team got in that place to begin with, so you can blame everybody you want to, but there were actions that your team did prior to that to get you in that situation. So
I guess there was an issue at the end of the game with like a stampede.
Well, people were throwing stuff on the like there were. Cowboys fans were throwing debris at Cowboys on the way into the locker room.
What I read was that I guess they opened up the standing room only area of AT&T Stadium. Just let fans move down or whatever. And
that was before the game. Yeah. That was prior to the game there. They showed the mass. It looked like Black Friday when they opened the doors at the big box store and people busting through. Yeah, that I saw. And that was before the game, apparently. They opened up the standing room only. I don't know all the details. People get hurt doing that or something?
I'm trying to log in and
I didn't hear that part
real quick.
I just happened to catch at the beginning of the game, they said, here's Cowboys fans rushing into standing room only, and they should have
It says, AT&T Stadium opened up its standing room only section for the game, resulting in a stampede for prime spots when the gates opened. My guess is they're going to keep doing this till somebody dies.
Well, or they don't play another game that's what happened yesterday.
Let's see, what other facts do we have here?
Well, to be honest, if I remember right, the Montreal Canadiens have been doing that for years.
Yeah. What's Canadians? They're nicer.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Sorry. Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, they with their hockey, it's the Canadiens. When it comes to sports, and there doesn't get many more beloved teams in Canada than the Montreal Canadian hockey team. They are the Dallas Cowboys of Canada, and they do the same kind of at least unless they've stopped but back in the day they would just have a standing room only section. They'd open up and let people just bust just like that. Say all right, and they do it every single game, and they seem to do it all right. But I don't know if they do that anymore.
They probably got it down to a science at this point.
Yeah,
it's not new like it is for us.
And like you say, Canadians are more polite, so maybe they were more orderly about.
Oh no, you go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Let me give you the rundown for today's show. This hour here in just a few minutes, we're going to have State Rep Greg Nybert call in. He's heading off to Santa Fe for the legislative session later today, so we'll preview what he's anticipating, what's in store there, and just talk a little bit about the legislative session. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to have Don Weld join us from Friends of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. Steve Alvarez, who's with Bitter Lake, he's one of the rangers there, going to join us and give us an update on what's happening out at Bitter Lake. They're starting to open back up and do things in this post-COVID world. So they'll join us, give us an update what's happening out at Bitter Lake. And in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to try our MREs.
Yes.
I may replay our interview with Tracy Fryer from the library if we've got time, but we may be spending the whole hour
with intestinal distress.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll play that one by ear or by mouth.
I was going to say by gut. I trust our guts on this one.
Yeah, and then we'll do that. We do have two. Oh, someone's calling me.
Oh,
I bet that's Greg Nybert.
Oh.
Let me put that on hold here just a second. I'll keep Greg there on hold. Hold on. If you can hear
Greg,
me, Greg,
if you can hear us, you're on hold for a second.
Yes.
We'll get to you as soon as we can.
He was going to call me at 7:15, so that's probably Greg there. But what was I saying?
MREs.
Yes, we're going to be eating those. We got the spaghetti one, and then we've got another flavor, a
beef taco,
which I've never had a taco in an MRE form before.
Yeah, I'm curious.
That must be one of the more modern flavors.
I want to tour the Warnick Company in Cincinnati, Ohio, where they make these things.
Yeah, that one looks a little more highfalutin fancy than the ones I've had in the day. So we're going to eat tacos and spaghetti, military style, here in the 9 o'clock hour.
Flameless ration heaters are prohibited on commercial airlines unless sealed in original meal bag.
Oh, dang.
I did not know that.
Oh, unless sealed.
Yeah, if you could take one of these on a plane if it's sealed.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to try that.
I'm gonna.
I brought my own.
I'm gonna keister it,
and then I'll, yeah, of course. Why, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna cut it open in front of the stewardess to say,
Does anybody have a rock or something?
Yeah, or something. I don't know if you got rocks, but if you have or something. That would be helpful. 7:15. Let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days. We have high pressure in place over the southwestern states. We'll hit the low 60s on our afternoon high today. Could get a little bit breezy later on in the day. Wind gusting to 25 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine. Low 30s and clear for the overnight hours, and then quite a bit warmer and windy on Tuesday. Sunshine and our high going up to about 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good January run this week with an exceptionally nice run of high-quality native calves and light yearlings. The majority weaned and shots. We expect to sell 2,200 head, breaking down like this: 100, 125 weighing cows and bulls, 75 to 100 pairs of bred cows, 2,000, 2,050 calves and yearlings today's sale will include 18 bred cows, K&M Lutrick at Fabens, Texas, ex-quality Black Angus and Brangus cross cows bred to Angus, 5 to 9 years old, 20 to 25 cow-calf pairs for today. 50 steers, Jimmy Johnson, Lake Arthur, New Mexico, ex-quality Black Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 70 days, 2 rounds of shots, 500, 600 pounds, 126 calves, Casabone Ranches at Hope, New Mexico, reputation quality Black Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 75 to 90 days, 2 rounds of shots, 475, 675 pounds, 372 calves, Animas Foundation, Animas, New Mexico, reputation quality black white face Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 90 days, 2 rounds of shots, thin condition, 275, 550 pounds. 120 calves, John Jackson, Lake Arthur, New Mexico, ex-quality 80% black white face Angus and Brangus crosses, cattle weaned 35, 40 days, 400, 600 pounds. 169 calves, Emil Keeney and Sons down at Cornudas, Texas, reputation quality Black Angus cross calves, Cattle Master 5-7 weigh at Brandon, medium condition, 450, 600 pounds. 73 calves, Mr. David Gable, Roe Mesa, New Mexico, ex-quality black white face Angus and Charolais cross calves, Cattle Master 5-7 weigh at Brandon, 350, 550 pounds. 54 light yearlings, RS Cattle Company, Socorro, New Mexico, good quality crossbred yearlings, cattle weaned 75 plus days, 2 rounds of shots off alfalfa fields, 500, 650 pounds. 35 steer calves, Mr. Steve Haynes at Artesia, ex-quality Black Angus and Brangus cross cattle, weaned 90 days, 2 rounds, bunk broke, 500, 650 pounds. 78 calves, Mr. Wade Berry, Lake Arthur, New Mexico, ex-quality 90% black white face Brangus cross calves, cattle weaned 75 days, 2 rounds of shots, 450, 650 pounds. 48 light yearlings, Ed Epinar at Kenna, New Mexico, ex-quality 90% Black Angus and Brangus crosses. These are yearlings, weaned 120 plus days, shots, cake, grass, 500, 650 pounds. 40 calves, light yearlings, Flying H, New Mexico, here south of Roswell, ex-quality Black Angus crosses, weaned 60 days, 2 rounds of shots, cake and grass, 500, 650 pounds. Sale time this morning, 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 9:30. Be selling calves and yearlings about 10:30. Light on cows today, so don't be late. We expect to sell 2,200 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
March 1st is the day I've been waiting for.
The Super Bowl is in February, honey.
No, on March 1st, we vote Mayor Kintai out of office.
Isn't that the truth? Roswell can do so much better than Kintai.
You think? On his watch, fees went up everywhere. At the adult center, at the zoo, even at the veteran cemetery.
Not to mention the murder rate has more than doubled the past 4 years. And Kintai proposed that $35 million public safety complex with no plan and no land. Thank goodness we rejected that boondoggle.
Well, luckily, Tim Jennings is running for Roswell mayor.
That's right. Tim's the man for the job.
Tim Jennings is a leader. He served Roswell honorably in the state senate and delivered.
He'll keep taxes and fees low and fight crime by putting more officers on the streets.
Mayor Tim Jennings. I like the sound of that.
Honey, I'm putting Vote for Tim on the calendar for March 1st.
It's a date.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
It's a celebration. The Roswell Nissan New Year Savings Event is on. It's 2022 and time for a new ride. Hi, this is Mikey Reeves, new general manager at Roswell Nissan. Come celebrate with us and save big on new 2021 and 2022 Nissan Titans, Altimas, and Sentras. Plus, during Roswell Nissan's New Year celebration, get payments as low as $83 a month and top dollar for your trade-in. It's a New Year celebration at Roswell Nissan's New Year Savings Event, but hurry in. All offers end January 31st.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us on the phone this morning is State Representative representing District 59, Greg Nybert with us. Good morning, Greg. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning, Mike. I certainly can.
Awesome. Well, first off, thank you for spending some time with us on the phone here. Of course, Representative Nybert will be heading to Santa Fe here later on today to get ready for the upcoming legislative session. If you don't mind, before we kind of talk a little bit about, what you anticipate and all that, for folks that are either, new to New Mexico or don't really understand how our legislative session works. For folks that don't know, we do every year the legislature meets. They meet for a 30-day session, and every other year, and then the year in between, they meet for a 60-day session. This year, they'll be going for a 30-day. If you don't mind, just kind of give a quick, just short description of the difference between the 30-day and the 60-day in terms of what you guys work on and things like that. It's a little bit different in the two sessions. If you don't mind, just kind of explain that for folks.
Well, in New Mexico, our Constitution sets forth the times that the legislature is required to meet, and we are to meet on the third Tuesday of January each year. In odd-numbered years, we're to meet in a 60-day session where the legislature has a blank slate. In other words, we can introduce any pieces of legislation that we deem to be beneficial to the people of the state, and the agenda is set by the legislature themselves.
Gotcha.
In the even-numbered years, the Constitution provides for a 30-day session as opposed to a 60-day session. It is limited in scope to revenue items and items that the governor believes needs to be addressed in the state of New Mexico. So the governor has a big hand in setting the agenda for the 30-day session.
Gotcha.
And so for a piece of legislation to be introduced or to at least get assigned to a committee, it has to either deal with the basically the budget,
mm-hmm.
or it has to receive a message from the governor's office to be deemed germane. Now, there are some things that go on that deal with that a little bit. The rules of the Senate and the House leave it up to the House and the Senate to deem bills germane if they so wish.
Okay.
But generally, you have to have a message from the governor to get a non-revenue item on and assigned to a committee.
Okay.
In an even-numbered year.
So during the 30-day in the even number year, the budget, the finance stuff, does that take precedent over the governor's demand? Like, for instance, as we get toward the end of the 30-day, if the budget's not approved, does that put some of the governor's agenda on the back burner before? Or, I mean, like, in essence, you really have to have a budget before the 30 days are over. Some of the governor's requests may not be as necessary there. Is that the case, or am I way off there?
That would largely be the case, and that's certainly the case every year. One of the things that we do have to do as a legislative body is to pass a budget for the functioning of state government. Mm-hmm. If we do not pass a budget, then unlike the federal government that has these continuing resolutions, we could not continue on because government would not be funded.
Right.
In fact, that very issue was somewhat dealt with a month ago when the courts demanded that the governor bring all the federal dollars through the legislative process, mm-hmm. and did not allow her to independently spend those funds without legislative action, and that was a victory for the legislative body when the court confirmed that issue. So
sure.
The budget's something that we, as the legislative branch of government, have to weigh in on. We have to pass a budget in order for the state to continue to function as a governmental entity.
I did get a chance over the weekend to see in the news some of the things the governor wants the legislative body to address. A lot of it dealing with teachers, education. Some of your thoughts there. I mean, yeah, I see what her, I don't know if it's a wish list or saying this is what you need to do or however you want to call that. On paper, some of it seems very nice. Yeah, sure, I'd love to be able to do this, but in reality, as a legislative body, do you think some of the things she's asking for are feasible, or are they a little over the top?
Well, I think some of them will probably get pared down through the legislative process, but I think her major items that she put at the very top of the list, the pay increases for public education. Mm-hmm. I suspect that will get legs. Probably already has gotten legs. I'm kind of down here by myself because both Representatives Anderson and Zell are on House Appropriations, and they started meeting last week.
Oh,
They've been up there
so they had to go up early.
Yeah, they've been up there for a week dealing with the budget already. So I suspect that a lot of the things that the governor has said are her priority have already been brought before that committee, and I, in talking to my colleagues, it looks like some of those things are going to be get through that process.
Sure.
Some of the other things I think face a steeper slope and probably don't get as much traction, but that's part of the legislative process.
Sure. Well, and it's like anything else. The things that move the needle and get people excited or upset, those are going to be the things that get covered more and get a little more spotlight on it just because they draw more attention. And let's face it, for people, running for approval of people, they're going to want to do the things that make them, you know what I'm saying? So there's certain aspects that are going to get more attention or sexier because of the nature of what they are, than others that, you just don't really hear much about. And so sometimes if something is in the forefront, they're going to move harder to get that done than something that doesn't get so much of the media attention. Is that a fair statement?
It is, and as you've noticed, Mike, you've seen the news. You can see what her top priorities are because she's been on television the last few nights advocating for those what I consider critical measures that she thinks are at the top of the list.
Yeah.
We first heard about public education pay raises. We've heard the last couple days about crime and violent offenders. That's certainly going to be on the message.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrating for those of us in southeast New Mexico, because we've been trumpeting some of those concerns for as long as I've been in the legislature.
Sure.
That criminal justice reform meant something different than what my colleagues on the majority side deemed to be criminal justice reform, and that was let them go, let them out. And now they've finally figured out that maybe that's not a good policy and that it has dire consequences. So we're hearing that.
So does that give you some optimism a little bit that maybe some of the legislation that, like you said, you and your your kind of constituents here in Southeast New Mexico have been saying for a while? Is it pandering, or is it some kind of, all right, finally they're seeing what we're seeing?
Oh, I think it's it's disappointing that we've had to go through so many years of pain to get to this point, because a lot of people have been really hurt.
Sure.
But on the other hand, moving forward, I'm pleased to see that they're finally understanding that there has to be some consequences to evil actions in society, and so increasing the statute of limitations on second-degree murder, increasing sentences for those really violent crimes are something that we've been advocating for a long time.
So can I ask, like when she's talking about, like, for instance, pay increases and things for education and all that. I mean, yes, we all would love to pay teachers more. But there's a finite amount of money out there to spend. That's why we have budgets and everything. If they're going to put a hard press to make sure teachers, which I'm great with, don't say I'm complaining, because I'm not, but I understand also that if you put more money in one place, the money's got to come from somewhere else to fix that. So if the legislature goes through and passes some of the stuff she's talking about, does that mean that there's going to be less pork money spent, or more seriously funded things going to take a hit here, you think?
Well, we're in a very interesting time. We've had some serious challenges with respect to COVID and the shutdown of businesses, people being unemployed, tremendous amounts of money going to unemployment and stuff. But yet we find ourselves in a very good financial position as a state. In fact, this year's budget is proposed at $8.3 billion, which is significantly above the $7.4 or so billion budget last year. That's a huge increase in monies. Now, some of that may be federal dollars coming in, but we've also had very strong economic activity, and I don't need to remind you, a lot of that's a result of what's occurring down here in southeast New Mexico with respect to oil and gas production.
Right.
So we have strong revenues. We have a good year for revenues, and the concern that the southeast New Mexico legislators always warn the folks up north about is the oil and gas industry, it goes up and it's really nice, and it comes down and it's really bad, and so don't get
excited,
really crazy on spending when your basis is a very cyclical type of commodity that goes up and down pretty quickly, and so I think there's some things that we can do and ought to do, but again, as you know, my focus has always been take this largesse and put it toward infrastructure that oftentimes gets neglected, because if we have some extra money, deal with those needs that when they're repaired, they last for 25, 30, 50 years.
Sure.
And you get some bang for your buck for the long term. If we just simply take all that money and put it toward recurring expenses, then we get in trouble down the road.
Yeah.
Because we'll have to have those dollars, whether it's good times or bad times. So I hope, and I see in some of her statements that she does want to do some of that infrastructure spending as well. I just hope that the increase in recurring obligations is not getting way out of hand, that it's going to obligate the legislature 5 years from now from having a $8.3 billion budget, because we may not have those revenues as production declines,
sure,
as the price of oil goes lower, what have you.
Yeah, well, that's been an age-old debate in New Mexico. You've always had, all right, it's good this time, but it doesn't mean it's going to be good a year from now. Let's save for the rainy day versus the ideology of, no, we got a bunch of money now, let's spend it all while we still can. And then, that's kind of the big ideological difference between, conservative and liberal in New Mexico for a long time. And the oil and gas has kind of been that measuring stick a little bit on what to do with that funds, and see that I don't think that ever will change, will it?
Probably not. But, we see it a lot more drastically in southeast New Mexico than the rest of the state. I mean, we see real effects of a very cyclical commodity, oil and gas, and we've seen it as recently as the last couple of years.
Sure.
Hobbs and Carlsbad, right before the census, they were really blowing and going and had a lot more people. The census came out, and frankly, I think both communities were rather disappointed in the numbers, because they knew from water usage and everything else that they had much greater population as early as 2 months before the census. But, the price of oil dropped, COVID hit, and all that stuff was going on, and a lot of those folks went back, quote, home, close quote, to where they came from, and they weren't counted in the New Mexico numbers. And so we see dramatically how the price of oil and how the demand for oil affects not only the money coming into the state, but we see how it affects our communities,
sure,
how it affects our neighborhoods, how it affects our schools and everything else. And we see it firsthand here.
Well, it's hard for, even sustained growth for communities like that. I mean, just talking, not even so much population, but with the commercial and encouraging other entities to come to New Mexico. If you have a very volatile population like we see in some of our oil and gas communities, where 1 minute there's 100,000 people there, a year from now it could be 15,000. It's just the nature of oil and gas. But that's got to also hurt the other side too, because you look at, like you said, the census numbers. The commercial businesses and companies and things are saying, hey, are we going to move to New Mexico? Well, let's look at the number of people and things. And if that's all over the place or not consistent, they're not going to want to set up shop either. So it is a huge trickle-down effect on some of that stuff, too. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about there.
That's true.
Getting back to the crime thing real quick. Now, like you said, the governor over the last couple of days has been in the news, in the media, proposing heavy about, kind of cracking down on crime during this legislative session. Are you going to see a lot of support, you think, from the other side in the House or in the legislature? I think, especially we've looked over the last couple of years, and there is a heavy percentage of quote unquote progressives in the legislature, and the talk of defund the police and all that kind of nonsense. Is there going to be some resistance to some of the governor's measures here from the other side, or are you going to see people work in concert with what basically some of the stuff you and your constituents have been saying for years here?
That's somewhat of an unknown. I saw Senator Cervantes, who's chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee questioning whether or not he is fully supportive of some of those measures.
Yeah.
I know the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, Gail Chasey from Albuquerque, she is generally fairly hesitant about increasing penalties for crimes. And so it'll be interesting to see how much support the governor gets on those measures. I do think at the end of the day, a lot of those measures do get some traction. They may not get 100% traction, but I suspect that there will be significant momentum behind some of those measures to get the issue not only debated but get them passed. The issue would be whether you get an extra 10 years or 5 years or 15 years. You know, what's going to be the increase in the penalty? How long is the second-degree murder statute of limitations? Is it the current 6 years, or is it going to be basically the same as first-degree murder, unlimited, or is it somewhere in between? I suspect that it's going to be somewhere in between.
Gotcha.
Because in New Mexico, nobody really gets tried for first-degree murder anymore. It's all second-degree murder, and you know, even if they found the person that killed all the women who were found on the West Mesa of Albuquerque, that person would go scot-free. Because it would be virtually impossible to show premeditation, 30, 40 years later. So those things would all be, that person would go scot-free because the statute of limitations is run. And that's not what I think New Mexico needs. And so I'm glad the governor's picking up on that.
Sure. I just hope that, and this is where maybe some of the problems, run deeper. We can still make all the requirements we want on our judicial system, but if they don't have the money and support, the number of judges they need, the number of courts, the dockets cleared. I mean, that's part of the dockets have been a mess forever, and there's huge delays and things. And yes, want to be, tough on crime, things like that. But at the same time, if there's no support system to actually execute the laws and things you're making, what good are they sometimes too? So I'm all for doing that, but I also, my opinion is one of those things that's great, but we also need to make sure we have the infrastructure in place to handle these criminals and make sure that they don't get out on technicalities or get out because there's no room for them, or, you know what I mean? Just some of the side problems that we see in New Mexico.
Yeah. We have a huge problem today with the lack of officers on the street. They did a program last night on TV that so many of these street racers in Albuquerque are not being prosecuted because the police officer didn't show up at the hearing and the case was dismissed.
Yeah, and that's a real problem.
You have to have a sufficient police force to be able to allow those officers the time to go to court and to testify. And if they're out and held up from going to court because they're having to cover for lack of personnel generally, we're doing a lot of stuff for naught because those folks get off scot-free without having to address the danger they cause society. So it's a catch-22 in many ways. So the governor's proposal is to try to train more officers, and that's a lofty goal. But I would also add, you have to create the environment that police officers or that people want to become police officers, and it's awfully difficult to say, well, we're going to pay you X amount of money, but, oh, by the way, we're going to also look over your shoulder and question your every move and
not back your play here.
You for every action you take. We have to come to terms with, we need our police officers to feel that they are respected and that the population supports them, because
Absolutely.
Right now there's a lot of police in the state of New Mexico who feel that the public is against them. Now, I don't think that's true down in this part of the state.
Sure,
but it's
but you're
certainly
right.
true in other parts of the state where the police seem to be under tremendous public scrutiny. So we have to create a better environment for those police officers to work in, and we have to, as public entities, we have to support our police institutions and give them not only the resources they need, the personnel they need, but we have to give them the backing as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one thing to say you support the people, and I mean, you're asking these people to serve and protect in our community, and then you don't back them up or try to Monday morning quarterback them every time on every situation. Yeah, people aren't going to want to do that for a living. So, I'm all for training and understanding and getting it right, but at the same time, how many times do we take things out of context based on 30 seconds of a clip, and you don't see what happened before or after to understand why what you saw in 30 seconds happened the way it happened? And you can't, the court of public opinion isn't the place to decide people's fates. I'm sorry, it just isn't. and we've got a whole lot of that going on right now, and it, unfortunately it's a negative impact on law enforcement. So yeah, you're right. We need to curtail that to even have a chance of getting qualified, good people to fill these positions.
I think that may be more the key than pay. Pay is certainly important, but I think having that type of support structure is probably as important for those officers. And I think we've done a pretty good job in Southeast New Mexico with that issue, trying to support the police, the sheriff's offices, and our state police. I know that we have really appreciated the way that Lance Bateman and the officers here in Southeast New Mexico have dealt with a lot of issues under a lot of pressure to do some things, and yet they tried to really keep things at bay and really work with the communities instead of taking some drastic measures that they were being forced to take.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think that in Southeast New Mexico, we've done a pretty good job of that.
Absolutely. I agree with you. We're a different world here sometimes than the rest of the state. I can see it every time I go up north. We're about out of time, but I do want to talk about one thing real quick before we go. With the marijuana bills and that the recreational marijuana, that's all going to be legalized here in a couple months. Municipalities across the state have been kind of trying to function and put together plans over the year. Is Santa Fe done with this issue, or are there going to be some guidelines coming from them, in this legislative session, saying, okay, I guess standardization a little bit. I think that's one of the problems we've been running into is now that recreational marijuana is coming, each city, each county, everyone's trying to figure out how to make the correct ordinances and things to do this. From what I'm hearing from our community leaders, county commissioners, mayor, city council, et cetera, are saying there's not a lot of guidance from Santa Fe on how to do this. Is that something legislature is going to get into, or is that not even on the radar at this point?
Mike, I don't think that is on the radar for legislative action.
Okay.
The way it was teed up in the special session where that bill passed was that it would be turned over to the regulation and licensing department to come up with regulatory parameters, and I think they've been trying to deal with those issues through the regulatory body ever since. And so I think the effort has been focused on the regulations and maybe maybe that will prove to be a mistake, but as it generally is, in my opinion. But
gotcha.
That's where I think the issue lies right now.
Okay.
Now, I do believe probably at some point, because of the haste with which that bill was passed, we are called back into special session to deal with that one topic.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think at some point you're going to see some amendments to that legislation as those issues percolate to the top, and you see, well, wait, we didn't quite do this right, and we need to tweak this or that.
Gotcha.
I think you will see some in the future, but I don't think you'll see it in this 30-day session. I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
But I think we gave the regulatory body until April of this year, March or April of this year, to come up with some regulations and things. And I think that's the problem that the counties and the cities are facing, is that they haven't received that guidance, and the regulations are probably not coming out yet. But
okay.
That would be my guess for this legislative session, that we probably don't see any cannabis type of actions, and I don't see any of that on the governor's
plate docket here.
At least what she's put out so far. One thing on her agenda of things that she wants to do, she wants to use bond money to buy and to acquire land in conservation easements, and that goes hand in hand with the federal government's 30 by 30 initiative. And I can tell you that our counties down here are very concerned about government acquiring more land and trying to take land out of the tax base and put land into government's hands. And that's an interesting one. I think that'll probably receive some pushback, certainly from the legislators in this area. There's an interesting issue regarding the use of hydrogen, or the manufacture of hydrogen from natural gas, and what do you do with the carbon atoms that are extracted off of that process, and there'll be some interesting debates on that issue.
Okay.
I was pleased to see that the governor may give us a little bit of a gross receipts tax incentive by reducing the gross receipts tax by 0.25%. Maybe I wish it was higher, but at least there's a little effort in that regard to reduce that tax a little bit, and it'll be interesting to see what the majority says about that. But
yeah.
I hope that anytime we can reduce taxes, I'm all in favor of that.
Absolutely. Well, we do appreciate you spending some time with us here. Safe travels up to Santa Fe. I'd love to maybe, I'll give you a call later or talk with you later, but maybe do a weekly check here or update as things are going here in the legislative session. I'll work with you and your schedule and see what kind of works best there. But if you're amenable to it, love to have some updates as the things progress here during the session.
Since it's so early in the morning and legislative time, things don't get rolling until at least 9 o'clock. It's quite possible that if you'd like, we could round up all the local legislators on a weekly basis and maybe phone in. And
that'd be great. If I don't, see how they feel about it. But yeah, I'd love to have them do that. I don't want to, if they're like, man, I want to sleep in an hour, then I let them do it.
Well, that's usually not on the agenda, but usually you can catch us with a little more free time earlier in the morning.
Okay.
So I'd be happy to talk to them and see if we can figure out which day we could do that. We'd just do it every week if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Do me a favor. Yeah, kind of bounce it off them and see what kind of day of the week works best for you guys, and then from there we'll kind of figure something out from there. How about that?
That works on this end.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for representing us here in Southeast New Mexico and fighting the good fight. Even though some days it feels like you're fighting alone there.
So, some days I feel like a Washington Redskin. just getting beat up all the time.
Yeah, but we're going to take our benches every place. They're real nice.
Yeah, and I guess I have to say that now it's the Washington Football Club.
Till February 2nd. Yeah.
I go all the way back to when the Cowboys and the Washington Redskins had a real rivalry.
Yeah.
When I was a younger kid, and oftentimes you came out on top of that battle. So anyway,
now they're just embarrassing. So
yeah,
well, February 2nd we'll have a new name at least, so we'll see how that goes. But
yeah, we'll try to get used to it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. As always, appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again here real soon, okay?
Thanks, Mike.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, that was Representative Greg Nybert. Big thank you to him for spending some time with us today, and they're heading to Santa Fe, or actually, a lot of his counterparts are already there. He'll be heading a little later today. All right, it is 7:56. Let's do a quick local news, quick break before our national news. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Our top story this hour, a new proposed ordinance in Carlsbad will target underage drinking of alcohol. If passed, the ordinance would punish those that provide alcohol to minors, making them responsible. The Carlsbad Community Anti-Drug and Gang Coalition is pushing the proposed social host ordinance. That was the topic of discussion at a recent roundtable with city officials and Carlsbad police. The ordinance has been largely formed after Farmington's disorderly house or social host ordinance that was created last year. Carlsbad Caverns National Park has a new leader. Carmen Chapin was presented as the new director by the National Park Service Regional Director Mike Reynolds. Chapin began her new duties on January 6th. She will oversee 46,000 acres of land, 119 known caves, and an annual operating budget of more than $5.4 million, according to the NPS statement. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Drive into a year that's new with a vehicle that's new, or new to you from your friends at the Tailgate Nation. Roswell Ford's inventory of pre-owned vehicles is bigger than it's ever been, the biggest in southeastern New Mexico. More than 140 excellent vehicles on the lot, just about every make and model of truck, including the popular Ford Super Duty. Plenty of SUVs, too, as well as luxury cars and sporty cars. Something for every family at every budget. All carefully inspected and fairly priced. And all come with a 3-day money-back guarantee, so you can buy without being shy. If you have a really nice vehicle, Roswell Ford wants to buy it. We'll appraise it in about 20 minutes, then make you an offer that's better than other places. And Roswell Ford is now taking orders in person and online for the new Ford trucks and SUVs that will be arriving soon. So get your new year started right with a vehicle that's right from Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, corner of 9th and Main.
Times are changing, and today's funerals aren't always the sad and solemn events you might expect. This is Gabriel Casaus from Lagrone Funeral Chapel. Along with hymns and scriptures, today's funeral services are often filled with fish stories, country songs, and a joke or two, golf clubs and hot rods, favorite recipes, and kitchen disasters. At Lagrone Funeral Chapel, we believe a funeral should reflect your loved one's personality, passion, and sense of humor. When you lose a loved one, we're here, because at Lagrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
900 South Main, Roswell.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second upload and download speed. With Faster, get true 500 meg. And with fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speeds. Learn more at plateaufiber.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters. North Korea has fired 2 short-range missiles into the sea in its 4th weapons launch this month. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
South Korea's military says the suspected ballistic missiles flew around 236 miles on a maximum altitude of 26 miles before landing off the country's northeastern coast. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command adds the missile launches have highlighted the destabilizing impact of the North's illicit weapons program. Some experts say North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is returning to a tried and true tactic of pressuring his neighbours and the US with missile launches and outrageous threats before offering negotiations meant to extract concessions. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Weather forecasters are urging people to stay off the highways along the East Coast because of heavy snow and ice. National Weather Service meteorologist Mark Chenard says a lot of snow fell overnight.
The highest snowfall totals thus far from the system kind of focus across the western Carolinas and the higher terrain there and across northeast Ohio into western New York. Both those areas have some totals 12 to 16 inches of snow.
Microsoft says dozens of computer systems at an unspecified number of Ukrainian government agencies have been infected with destructive malware disguised as ransomware. The disclosure suggests an attention-grabbing defacement attack at the same time that temporarily took some 70 government websites offline was a diversion. The extent of the damage was not immediately clear. A top Ukrainian security official first disclosed the malicious attack earlier Saturday. A private sector security executive in Kiev says the attackers were able to penetrate government networks. More on these stories at townhall.com.
So I invested in one of those fancy new exercise bikes. Without a doubt, a very special tool to help me get healthier. The problem is 3 days go by, then 4, and I've done nothing. And then it's night 5, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I look down at myself, and I can't help but just laugh. Because there I am, wearing the exercise t-shirt that came with the bike, and I'm eating 2 corn dogs. And I think we'd all agree, the special tool only matters if we use it to our benefit. At United Faith Mortgage, we believe we have an advantageous tool for you. Our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions. There's no middleman. And often, this allows us to get you a better rate on your refinance or new home purchase, which can save you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Meadow Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
The United Nations Human Rights Commission says Taliban leaders in Afghanistan are institutionalizing gender-based discrimination and violence against women and girls.
The UN experts say measures imposed by the Taliban, from strict dress codes to a ban on women using public transport alone, to a law requiring secondary schools to be segregated, with girls taught only by women teachers, of which there are few, are combining to erase women and girls from public life. Most girls' secondary schools are closed. Women heads of household find it almost impossible to go out to work, leaving them and their children vulnerable to exploitation, such as forced marriage or trafficking.
The BBC's Imogene Folks reporting. Credit Suisse's chairman has resigned following an internal probe. He reportedly turned up. He had violated COVID-19 quarantine rules. News and analysis at Town Hall. Sharply higher costs are yet another challenge thrown at business owners by the global pandemic.
The unpredictability of shipping, labor, and the coronavirus itself have created an environment where owners are left guessing about when products might arrive and how much they'll cost. In response, businesses are raising prices, cutting staff hours, dropping some goods and services, and nixing free shipping in a delicate balancing act.
Correspondent Ken Lorman adds that with low visibility into how long the higher inflation will last, Some owners are increasingly worried about keeping their doors open in the long run. The Australian Open has started without 9-time champion Novak Djokovic. The focus is finally on tennis. Naomi Osaka opened her title defense with a straight-set win over Camila Osorio in the second match on Rod Laver Arena. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Get on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelist said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday and happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, everybody.
Yes, indeed.
Enjoying the day off for some. Not for all of us.
No.
I'm here today.
Some of us, some serve. Some gave all gave some. Some get the day off.
Yep.
Radio don't.
I kind of like days, holidays where like it's really a work day, but like mail and banks are closed.
Right.
So it's just like one less thing.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the edge off.
Yeah. Like it's easier to, like Mondays stink. Let's just call it what it is.
Right.
You know, no one likes Mondays. But a holiday Monday where you have to work, but it's not like full on, like people are in half mode. I kind of dig those days.
It is, yeah. It's nice. The only thing is, like, if you have stuff you got to get done, like if you need,
you have actual work to do.
If you need like cash or something.
Yeah, that's
like
a bummer.
the bank I use, if let's say for example you have to pay a bill, it won't let you in a certain day unless you like okay it with the bank, pull more than a certain amount out from the ATM.
Yeah, I got you.
You have to like go through and actually like withdraw the money. So like if I have to pay a bill or something like that, yeah, it becomes a bit of a hassle.
Do you have a checkbook and write checks, or is that all?
Yeah, but who writes checks?
They'll pay a bill.
Yeah, but I don't write checks.
I do every once in a while.
I don't even know where I have a checkbook. I have no idea where it's at. I think it's in the top of my closet somewhere.
Yeah, I keep it in the drawer at the house. There, I got it. Or no. Yeah.
It has been at least a decade since I've written a check.
I write checks every year, just not very many of them, one or two. Like when I say sign up, like as membership in organizations like the Historical Society or American Legion, I usually write a check for that to pay my membership.
By the way, this needs to be said.
Oh, and the other time, weirdly enough, is like if you get a speeding ticket or something.
Right.
I haven't done that in a few years, but last time I did, I wrote a check for $35 to pay court costs as I got out of a speeding ticket. But other than that was back when the magistrate court was being worked on because of asbestos or something. And so they were doing court out of the 900 Penn Plaza building.
I remember that, yeah.
That was amazing. I don't remember the judge. I failed to remember the judge and everything. But I remember walking, and it was like you had to go to like the 4th floor or something. And you walk in, and the clerk or whatever is like at a receptionist desk, like you would walk into a business,
right?
And handles your business, and like, oh yeah, the judge is in the like one of the boardrooms.
Conference room.
And so I'm just hanging out in a conference room, and it's got a huge table with like 20 chairs, and the judge is just sitting at one end with
at one end, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was like one guy he was dealing with, and then there was another guy like in a line ahead of me, and then there was me. And then there was like nobody around after me.
Mm-hmm.
And so the judge and I like just talked for like 10 minutes. He's like, "Oh, I see so-and-so got you," because I got pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
It was when I was going to Artesia
Yep.
at like 5 in the morning.
I vaguely remember this.
Yeah. And so me and the judge just shot the bull for about 20 minutes. And he's talking about, "Oh, yeah, they used to pull over all this." And then at the end, he goes, "We're going to drop the ticket. You got $35 to pay for court?" "Yeah, I got it."
"I'll write you a check."
He said there, "We're good." And that was it.
Nice.
So I sat in the Porter Penn Plaza building. Me and Judge had a good little chit chat for about 20 minutes. And then I went home. That was my court experience.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So this needs to be said. And I feel like this show and this station has the demographic that needs to hear this.
Okay.
Stop writing checks at the grocery store.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Oh, dude, I can't tell you. It's almost every single time.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
It always happens when I'm right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go through, they'll check their, and what always bothers me is they don't even whip out the checkbook to let you know that's what they're doing until the total has been said. And they're like, and now I'm going to start writing. It's like, first of all, if you're going to write a check, start it beforehand. And just be ready with the
only
info.
thing you should be able to do is fill in the number when they say the total.
Because, and I've worked in point of sale retail, and I know what a hassle it is to accept a check, because then you have to do the whole T thing at the top and write all their information. It's just a hassle. Can we please stop using checks at the grocery store? Please.
Well, and like I said, this is where society has taken a step back. We stop thinking about the people around you and their desires and needs. We've stopped thinking about. Hence the reason why no one signals when they drive and do all those things. The other thing is, they don't think that there's a line of people behind me. Maybe I should prep and do as much pre-stuff as I can. That way I don't slow down the line. People don't, I think like that, and some people do, but there's a lot of people, there's less and less that do that now. And yes, it's infuriating, and I hate it, because to me, if you don't have the common decency to think of others around you in simple little tasks like, hey, I'm going to spend an extra 30 seconds here and pre-fill out the check while I'm waiting for the cashier to scan all my stuff. Therefore, when the cashier gives me the total, I can say, "Oh," and then write whatever that number is, the phonetical writing of it out and handing check over to said clerk.
Right.
That would expedite that process tenfold. And
have the name there, the memo, your signature. All you got to do is just fill in the number and then the amount line. And
it's kind of like the MVD. If you just take 5 minutes and anticipate and pre-fill out things a little bit, you probably won't get yelled at so much at the MVD.
True.
Because
He's right,
I've seen more people like have moments, and I'm air quoting, at the MVD. Like people just feel the need to speak to the masses because they're frustrated with people at the MVD.
I'm upset now. You must all hear about it.
I've seen it at least twice at the
know what
MVD.
That is? Facebook.
Yeah,
it's given us the bill or the need to have our opinions heard. All the time.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, if you just was just being a little proactive, we'd solve these things. And that's the world in general, because everyone's all blaming everybody for something. Like, well, you realize if you did this, and this, you wouldn't be in that situation to begin with.
It's the 7 Ps, folks. I've heard it my whole career. Prior preparation prevents poor performance.
Now, if I act like your dad on the progressive commercials because of this ideology, then I will take that. That's one. And I ain't going to lie. I saw the one with the guy in the grocery store, and he's talking about, "Oh, did you put a new blade? This meat is excellent." And that guy, and they're making fun of him.
Right.
Yeah, granted, some of that he should stop. But some of that, no, that's called people being nice.
Yeah.
Like he's going, like the cart guy, he returns the cart and he goes, "Hey, this one pulls to the left a little bit." I could see me doing that same joke in the thing a little bit. It's just interacting with people.
Yeah.
If that makes me a dad, then so be it. Call me a dad. If dad means a guy that is nice to people and talks with people and has conversations with people, yes, that's me.
God, you're such a dad.
You know what, though? I find it that my life is a little nicer. People are nicer to you. People talk to you. You don't have as many hang-ups in places because you just talk with people like they're normal. And guess what? They're going to treat you like you're normal. That's what happens. It's not that hard in society, folks. But we can't figure that out for some reason. Don't act like an idiot and in public, and people won't treat like an idiot. That's how life works, folks.
Yeah. We just live in our bubbles.
And I don't know why parents forgot to teach their kids that, but apparently that's a big one.
We're too busy making jokes,
I guess,
to teach our kids.
But anyway, where was I again? I got way.
Don't write checks at the grocery store.
There you go.
Uh-huh. I told you all that to tell you this.
Happy Martin Luther King Jr. We're going to talk Bitter Lake this hour. We're going to have Don Well join us with Friends of Bitter Lake, and Steve Alvarez, who's actually the ranger there. You know, he's with Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, and we're going to get an update as they are slowly opening things back up for the public to participate and partake in out at Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. So we're going to get that update from Don and Steve here in just a few minutes. Later on this hour, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, along with Town Hall Business Update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and take a gander at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days. We have high pressure in place over the southwestern states. We'll hit the low 60s on our afternoon high today. Could get a little bit breezy later on in the day. Wind gusting to 25 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine. Low 30s and clear for the overnight hours, and then quite a bit warmer and windy on Tuesday. Sunshine and our high going up to about 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 29 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 30%. Winds currently out of the north at 8 miles per hour. For today, mostly sunny. Highs expected to be in the mid-60s, 64 officially, with winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear. Expect an overnight low of 35 degrees. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, warmer. Good news, but going to be breezy. In fact, we have a fire weather watch that will take effect tomorrow beginning at 11 a.m. and remain in effect through 6 p.m. tomorrow evening because it's going to be sunny and 72, but breezy with west winds 5 to 15 early, picking up 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. Hence the reason we got the fire weather watch. For Tuesday night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 37. Winds will be out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Cooler temps for Wednesday. Sunny, highs in the mid-50s, 56 officially, with north winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, they're saying there's a 20% chance of some rain showers, mostly sunny. High of only 41 on Thursday, so chilly and rainy. I'll take it. Friday, sunny skies, highs remaining in the mid-50s, 54 there. And weekend going to be chillier, too. Mostly sunny, 49 for a high Saturday, sunny and 56 on Sunday. So enjoy today and at least the first part of tomorrow because it's going to cool down for the rest of the week here after Tuesday. All right, it is 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break. And then we'll have the folks from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Austin Industrial is currently seeking a janitorial staff position to work in the Holly Frontier Refinery. You will be responsible for cleaning and sanitizing offices, meeting rooms, bathrooms, kitchen and dining room, and public areas. No minimum education requirements are needed, no experience is required, and pay is $13.50 an hour for this full-time 40-hour-a-week position. Apply at austin-ind.com or call Miss Cookie Look at 832-657-3385. Austin Industrial is an equal employment opportunity employer.
Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
It's a celebration. The Roswell Nissan New Year Savings Event is on. It's 2022 and time for a new ride. Hi, this is Mikey Reeves, new general manager at Roswell Nissan. Come celebrate with us and save big on new 2021 and 2022 Nissan Titans, Altimas, and Sentras. Plus, during Roswell Nissan's New Year celebration, get payments as low as $83 a month and top dollar for your trade-in. It's a New Year celebration at Roswell Nissan's New Year Savings Event, but hurry in. All offers end January 31st.
Ladies and gentlemen, So Easy Sewing finally has our most popular sewing machines and sergers back in stock. We have the Zest, our entry-level machine, on sale for $149. We have the Amazing Jazz 2, which boasts a 12-inch throat, on sale for $7.99, and our number one selling Verve sewing embroidery combo machine on sale for $9.99. All machines include lifetime instruction on the use of the machine. Hurry in to 200 East College Boulevard in Roswell to claim your new machine before they're gone. So Easy Sewing. You've never had it so easy.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, Don Weld, who's actually with the Friends of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, and Steve Alvarez, who's actually you're the guy, you're the ranger out there, I guess you could say, with the Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge.
Correct, the public use specialist.
There you go. You get the official uniform and you get the National Park Service. I'm like, I know there's different job titles, but we the public, park ranger.
There you go. That's right. I've been called other things too. So.
Well, in all fairness, people our age, I think it's Yogi Bear's fault.
There you go.
Because Yogi Bear and then the ranger, so we see a guy with the hat and the uniform, we just automatically call you a ranger.
There you go.
I got my hat. There you go. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys doing today? For first off, if there's folks in our community that are not aware of Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, we have a beautiful gem just right outside of town here, and I'm guessing you probably get people that confuse Bottomless Lakes, Bitter Lake, and kind of.
Oh yes, all the time.
Bottomless Lakes is an amazing place too, but that's your recreation. If you want to go swimming in the, doing some of the kind of the things you do in a state park kind of thing, fishing or swimming or camping, that kind of stuff. That's going to be out at Bottomless Lakes. Bitter Lake is a wildlife preserve. Right. There's opportunities to do lots of stuff out there, but it's not come and bring your cooler, have a cookout, and hang out by the lake here. That's not what Bitter Lake is about.
Correct.
So I think I just want to start there and go with the confusing.
Oh, yeah.
Because some people probably show up with their coolers and floaties and like, let's hang out at Bitter Lake. You're like, nah, you need to go to Bottomless Lake.
Years and years ago, they did that.
Did they let people go out and swim out
Bitter
there?
Lake, yeah, but they can't do that anymore.
Well, not as being a preserve.
Correct.
I mean, it's and that's the thing that it's so amazing is it's a whole nother world. Like we think of Roswell and we think of the desert, and then we have this oasis, and it literally is an oasis, just a few miles outside of town.
Oh, it is, and you mentioned how it's kind of a unique thing that many people don't know about, and it really is kind of a little gem out there.
Gem,
we've even had people come that visit, and they're totally surprised of what's out there, and we just kind of let the viewers know, or the listeners out there. You may come out there at a time where nothing's happening. You
Mhm.
know, it's very, very seasonal. If the water's low and
Sure.
the birds are not nesting or the birds are not moving, you may not see anything.
The animals
But-
don't go to your schedule. They go to
Exactly.
they go to the laws of nature, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it.
but it is I've worked for the government for about 30 years, and so this is one of the most biologically rich areas that I have worked at. I worked in Hawaii, I worked in Grand Canyon, and all
And see,
these places.
that's
And
the
people don't
shocking
realize-
part.
yeah,
That's the
it is.
surprising part because you think New Mexico, middle of the desert, Hawaii's tropical,
yeah.
and there's got to be much more vegetation. Like, well, it's
But-
all in perspective.
Yeah,
here,
and you mentioned oasis. It is oasis in the desert. There's, just for example, our dragonflies that everybody, a lot of people know.
That's kind of the most famous thing I think Bitter Lake's known
We have
for.
over 100 species, 100 different kinds. I mean, think about 100 different names of friends you have. I mean,
I would imagine there's people don't realize there's 100 different types of dragonflies.
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? They think dragonfly. There's a dragonfly. It's
Yeah.
no different. There's a dog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but how many breeds of dogs?
Oh,
types?
exactly.
Same thing with your
Yeah.
dragonflies and everything
and that's
else.
just one insect. We got tons of different kind of
Yeah.
insects out there. And then bird-wise, we have over 350 species of birds. If you're into birding,
Yeah.
people just love coming
Now,
out.
how
there.
many? Because for folks that don't know, Bitter Lake kind of serves as a rest area for our nature's our migratory
Yeah,
animals.
we're on the central flyway.
Yeah.
Birds kind of when they migrate, they follow like landscape areas,
Sure.
mountains or rivers and stuff. And basically, they got a route. It's a route that they're following.
Sure.
Every year they go north and south, and we're right in. There's 4 major flyways in the United States. There's the Pacific Flyway along the coast.
Okay.
We got the Central Flyway, which we belong.
Okay.
The Mississippi Flyway, which the birds will fall along the Mississippi corridor.
Okay.
And then we also have the Atlantic Flyway.
Gotcha.
So-
Now, does that have to do with like Gulf streams and stuff? Why they just kind of pick
No,
those routes?
most of it's kind of like land. Water access, land.
Sure.
You
the mountains can work as a little bit of a barrier, so they
correct.
can fly between the valleys and
exactly.
It's more
Exactly.
geological than
Gotcha.
than wind.
Okay, I just didn't know if the turbulence got too
Yeah.
much in these certain areas. So hey, if we hit these windows, kind of like space. When these space shuttles and everything, there's certain windows they can come into the atmosphere, and others they can't. I didn't know if that kind of gotten too sciencey there, but kind of
And
along
we're
the same
still,
lines.
and we're still learning migration just in South. If you ever study it, it's a very amazing thing. It's just how do the birds know where to go?
Sure.
What time of year, what triggers them, all that. It's still kind of a mystery.
I'm sure it's instinctual, just like what tells us as humans. Hey, I should drink some water. You know what I mean?
That's exactly.
I'm sure there's something in the birds that says, "Hey, we got to fly south now,
Yeah, that's
and we got to
right.
take the route." And I imagine some of it's some kind of it's probably just learning by the group.
Yeah, they do learn on
Yeah.
birds. It's parents.
That's what the group does. We fly south at this time.
Exactly.
But Bitter Lake, think of it as like your truck stop or something for these animals. They'll come, stay the night or a couple days, and refuel and fuel up and rest and everything, and then head on to their final destination farther south or north if they're coming back this way.
And that's a good point to mention is Bitter Lake is like a stopover.
Yeah.
One of our areas, our main job is a wintering ground, but also we work as a network with other refuges. The cranes, snow geese, ducks, whatever. Some of them will go up all the way to Siberia.
Sure.
We've had some of our cranes tagged, and they were coming all the way from Russia. And
Okay.
so, there's places up north in Alaska and Montana where they nest,
Okay.
but then they come down here in the winter. And we kind of keep in touch with other refuges
Okay.
to find out.
So I'm kind of curious about this. Say when the migratory season comes in, do you guys go out there and see if there's trying to find some of the geese or something that aren't tagged yet or anything and try to get a tag on them? Or is it just saying
It's
they're here?
different projects, research. Sometimes they tag them. It's not a constant thing that
Gotcha.
we do, but we do monitor waterfowl. We have people in airplanes and on the ground that are checking populations throughout the country.
Sure.
And we share that information. And
I would imagine that's like speaking history and everything, you look at Native Americans and they talk about the way of life of Native Americans, and they are very much a culture that you look at the animals, you see what they're doing. That's an indicator of what's going to be happening next year, weather-wise or things like that. I would imagine, too, for you guys studying that's got to give you patterns on weather and things, too. If you're like, hey, the birds are taking a slightly different route they normally do, they know something we don't about the you know what I'm saying, about the weather or something like that.
It just depends on the species too. What there's if, a lot of times if it's an endangered animal, there's more research done on that particular animal. But there is records of populations of numbers, and then they try to relate it also to what's going on environmentally wise.
Yeah.
So with the whole thing with the climate change, people go back and look at certain animals to say, well, they never used this area before, or they used to use this and now they're not.
Sure.
So that kind of stuff.
Sure. Is there a reason behind it, or they just found something they like better? That's where you kind of you got to figure out sometimes too.
So.
The other side I'd also like to kind of remind folks about is, yes, it's an ecological ecosystem. It's there to preserve and to protect and to study wildlife and things, but it's also a study in human history as much as it is a natural history with the with the Native Americans, the hunting grounds, and even if you want to get into more modern times, when we talk about the history of like the during the Depression and the human history of many of the projects that are done and out there at Bitter Lakes, a lot of that's from that era. In expansion and growth during like FDR administration and all that. And so there's a lot of history in that as much as there is Native American and your ecosystem and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right now presently our center's closed.
Sure, because of COVID.
We do, we do have our bookstore open, and we are allowing people Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to come in. But when eventually we open up, we do have an exhibit in the visitor center talking about what you just said about our history that's out there. Bitter Lake used to be a camp for over 300 CCC members during the Depression years.
Yes.
There was a lot of the facilities that were built out there. The housing, the roads. Those were built by CCC and WPA members.
Yeah,
so it's
which
kind of
is
cool.
It is cool.
It's
very cool. I love all that. Yeah. So you really get all of that by a trip out to Bitter Lake here. And like you said, it's a little limited right now because of COVID, but we're starting to see things open. Like you said, the gift store. I think you guys opened up like end of last year on the gift store there.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully some folks got a chance to do a little shopping and check that out.
Yeah, we have people coming in, so that's good.
But if you missed out, you can still come now and do some of that. I would imagine, Don, if you'd like to volunteer and be a friend of the Bitter Lake, you could get access to more places in the refuge that the public normally doesn't get to be part of.
We're working on that too. Yep. Yeah. The membership, especially newer members, we're looking at making some specialty trips.
Yeah, I think that's a perk. If you want to volunteer and come, help support, and because that's what the Friends of Bitter Lake do. They help with the conservation projects. They help with fundraising and awareness and education and all kinds of pretty much every aspect of Bitter Lake. The Friends of have a hand in helping out there.
And that's as far as for the Friends. We want the public to realize that with COVID, it was kind of a halt on activities, especially with public use type things.
Yeah.
And Don is right. We're looking right now to get back started on and hopefully things will get
rebuild.
going.
I imagine there's a lot of projects out there that have been neglected because there hasn't been the manpower to do some of that stuff.
Well, as we were talking earlier before this is some of the stuff got shifted on what we were doing. There was many projects that we didn't do during the time when things were regular, normal hours. Mm-hmm. We just didn't have the people to do them. And with COVID, that was one thing we had areas that we had not finished and went back and done. For right now, example, our bird blind that we had. We have a real nice bird blind. We tore down the ramp. We rebuilt the whole bird blind. And we'll have that open probably by the end of this year.
Okay.
End of this month.
Perfect time to watch the cranes and cocoa and all that good stuff here in the fall. That'll be perfect for that kind of thing.
So things like that. But again, going back to the rebuilding, if you're retired or you got special skills, if you're a photographer, if you're someone who likes to write, if you're an organizer, we're going to be starting our Dragonfly Festival here very soon, and Don and the friends and us work together.
So that'll be on in September timeframe?
Yeah, we're looking at opening it up September 10th.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's generally right around the time of year for the Dragonfly Festival, which is arguably the biggest event that happens at Bitter Lake.
The public use.
As far as public-wise, it's the biggest event that happens out there.
Exactly. So, and we need people. We'll have people that drive vans for us. We have people that work the visitor center.
Sure.
We have the friends exhibit area. If you've got exhibits to show, give us a call. We'll stick you in the exhibit tent.
That's another thing. If you're like a environmental or eco, if you're an expert in animal wildlife, if you're one, and Steve knows the folks that always come out and do discussions, talks. Sometimes it's about photography. Sometimes it's about the butterflies or the dragonflies. There's experts that always come as guests to speak and to give presentations. I think in the coming months, we're going to start seeing that kind of stuff coming back to the refuge.
Correct.
And all of that. And so by September, when we're full swing into, the refuge doing all 100% what it does, they'll be in place and ready to go for that time.
Correct.
So now's the time to start thinking about maybe becoming a friend. Or
if you're interested in even helping right now, Don and our Dragonfly committee, we just met for the first time last Tuesday.
Good.
And we're talking about what kind of venues we're going to have at the festival. We have a volunteer that is an expert in insects.
Okay.
She's going to be coming and joining us, maybe giving tours. So
Good.
If you have any kind of skills, let us know.
I hate to, the dragonflies are kind of the star of the bug world out there. But butterflies, I know you've been doing a lot with the butterflies over the last couple of years, but there are so many insects and things. And it's really an interesting balance out there because not so much even with the wildlife, but with the plant life and things, because that's a constant struggle because the refuge does a great job of trying to keep plants and things that are native to this region.
Correct.
And we have a lot of plants in this area that aren't native, that are very, very aggressive, strong, hardy plants. The plants that thrive in the desert generally have to be pretty hardy to begin with because they're desert plants.
Oh, yeah.
But that's a delicate balance out there with trying to preserve what's native to this area without it losing the battle to some of these other plants that are much hardier and stronger.
And one of the things we talked about at the Dragonfly Committee was to try to possibly do a program on having your native, like butterfly garden, a person who's an expert come in and talk to people. And you can do stuff in your yard here in Roswell that encourages you.
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Like learn some things at the refuge and take that home in your own property and try to work some of that in. Yeah.
In the past, we've released monarch butterflies during the Dragonfly Festival.
Kids get out there, and that's usually a fun part with the kids.
And we may do that again. We're looking at possibly doing that again this
I guess
year.
does it depend on how the numbers are doing and all that, and how many are getting
we
raised
get and so on. Right.
Yeah. It's again, it's all about what's available, and that's true in before COVID. That's just how it is.
And the whole idea that our friends prior to the Friends of Bitter Lake and our visitor centers, Bitter Lake was pretty much it was real low key. A lot of people didn't even realize what we had out there. Thanks to the Friends of Bitter Lake and the festival, it's really highlighted all the unique stuff that's out there, and we're working on community outreach, and that's what this whole
it's a great way to find the perfect balance because let's face it, you want people to come and enjoy and see and learn all about the great things that are at Bitter Lake.
Correct.
But at the same time, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, it ain't bottomless lakes. It's not the place to go to go camping and drinking and doing all the fun stuff that people like to do when they go out to the lake.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not that place. So
you're right.
And so you have to sell that a little bit because most people are like, going to the lake. I'll bring my swim trunks and bring my floaties. I'm like, no. Different kind.
Yeah, we want to show people, but we don't want to damage the resources.
Yeah, we want to protect and preserve. So you kind of want that balance of people coming and seeing it, enjoying it, but also keeping the reverence of, hey, this isn't the cut-up place. This is a place where we learn and enjoy nature and understand, why we're here and why they're here and how do we get along on this piece of earth and all that good stuff.
And Don could probably talk about how we've in our planning, that was part of the deal, is where we have to make sure we don't bring people. We only have so much parking out there.
Sure.
We only have so much.
Got to find that sweet balance.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because you don't want to disturb the ecosystem, and that's and that unfortunately that's with the best intentions, things like that sometimes happen unintentionally. I would make an argument, and I'm sure you got a thought or two on this. I grew up in D.C. area and things, and growing up as a kid, one of the battles, pardon the pun, that people were having was preservation of some of the Civil War battlefields and some of these natural preserves that are out, beautiful ones that are on the East Coast.
Correct.
But because of population and more people and the need for more housing and the need for more of this and everything, those lands, people would go to tour a battlefield, and you kind of want the impression if you're in the wilderness or in a place that's, natural. And unfortunately, a lot of these places, you go to Gettysburg and you're seeing this beautiful area, and then there's a KFC like 50 yards ahead of you. You know what I mean? And not that KFC's delicious, but maybe this ain't the time for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like you said, there's a balance. I mean, there's different, like I mentioned, I've been in this business for quite some time, and, there's different kind of regulations. There's different kind of people, how they protect stuff, and it's unique around the whole country how people handle their resources.
And I mean, it's a different fight because we're a lot less urban here than they are back east.
Yeah.
So there's different battles, but it's the same thing nonetheless.
Correct.
We live in an area. It's like, we see a hole with some water in it. Let's swim in it. And it's like, hold on, waters are very precious around here.
Exactly.
Some are for swimming, some are for fighting, according to Texas, and some are for drinking.
That's right. Again, just like you mentioned, we are in a unique situation here in Roswell, where only 7 miles away, the community has this really cool area called Bitter Lake.
So get ready and make some plans for the fall to come out and be a part of Dragonfly Festival. Obviously, as we get close to the event, we'll get these guys back on and start talking the nuts and bolts of the event and everything.
And like we mentioned earlier about it's seasonal, for like right now, we have thousands of cranes that are coming in, and they come and roost on the refuge.
Okay.
Come early in the morning.
They're waiting to head north, I guess?
As the weather changes, they'll start heading back.
Okay.
Some of them, the weather's been kind of mild this winter, so they tend to hang around longer.
Okay.
If the weather was getting pretty bad or severe, the cranes would start heading. Cranes and ducks and everything will start heading south.
Gotcha.
Just to get away from the weather.
I imagine they're a pretty good barometer for that kind of stuff.
In some ways, yeah, they are. You'll see. You'll a lot of times you can plan your bird watching by knowing the weather changes. If you know that a cold front's coming in, they're right in front of that cold front. You'll see birds that you wouldn't normally see coming through the refuge.
You think it's like us, where they just have a bum knee or something, and so they had surgery, and now when it's humid, they can tell when their knee hurts. They get some kind of deal like that for them.
But they don't have to have a bum knee. That's the way they live.
I don't know how that works. It's like, my knee hurts. It's getting cold. We got to move.
Let's head south.
Head south. That's right. But going back again, how you planning your trip to Bitter Lake. Like October, last part of October, early November. That's when the thousands of cranes
the busy season
first come in for the crane. Now we're talking cranes. Snow geese a little bit later, they'll come in, and then if you want to come see the dragonflies, September, September, and then October. Those are probably the peak months to see those. But then springtime, you get a lot of migrant songbirds, and people don't realize how many beautiful little colored birds come through the refuge. And, just going out there and just keeping an eye on the bushes and the trees, you'll see stuff even in your backyard here in Roswell, you see some people go, hey, I saw this really cool little yellow bird come by my house. And, well, it might not be there in the summer, but it will be there in the spring.
It's doing a little sightseeing while it's in town.
Yeah, we've seen some very unusual birds come through there.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Ones that aren't normally, in fact, even for that time of year, we don't normally see them in this area.
So when they come like that, is it a 1 and 2, or does it come as a herd?
It varies. Sometimes it's a group of them. Sometimes it's only just one.
Okay.
And there's also birding as an activity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people and it's kind of fun if you get into where they call it, you get your life list, where throughout your life, you're writing down what you've seen, and people get into it so much that there'll be people that'll fly to Africa to see some kind of rare bird that they never.
That's
even
amazing.
wanted,
I mean, if they find their passion and can afford to do that, God bless you.
Man,
You do it.
But even here, like if they have a deal called the Bird Hotline.
Okay.
And if they say Roswell, a few years ago we had a bird called a roseate spoonbill. They're normally found in Florida, Louisiana, and stuff, and they happen to, normally when storms, that kind of sometimes brings birds in.
Okay.
They get blown off course.
Gotcha.
And we had these ibis, spoonbills. They were on the refuge pretty much all summer. 2 or 3 of them. And we had people from all over New Mexico coming to see those, So it's kind of a fun thing.
Well, and that's amazing because it's no different than when you go on vacation and travel to look for the biggest ball of yarn. You know what I mean? When people do that stuff,
exactly.
Because it's and in some aspects it's even greater because you're seeing God's creatures in their natural life and habitat.
Yeah.
And like you said, you may never, ever, ever get a chance in your life to see that bird again.
Cool,
and to see and so to me, I equate that to the same thing. It's like you go to, I don't know. Oh, I'm going to San Fran. I've never been to Alcatraz. I've always wanted to go to Alcatraz. To me, that's the same thing. Just a great opportunity.
And my kids grew up with it so late. As adults, like my son moved to Minneapolis one time, and he mentioned something about, hey, he calls me, Dad, I saw a bald eagle fly over right across. I was driving on the highway, and he's all excited. And that's the kind of passion we like.
Absolutely.
To have people. It is cool.
It is very cool.
In the United States, traveling throughout the country, we are blessed to have so many natural resources in this country. It's just cool.
Absolutely. And I will tell you this too, by coming out to Bitter Lake and when these programs are happening and stuff and coming out, it's a lot of fun, but you learn a lot of cool stuff that I think you could serve you well throughout life too.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
During this closure of COVID, we had people coming out, they feel they were trapped and feeling isolated.
Sure.
They went out and drove and got back, just felt good to be out there.
Sure.
So.
But even like the life lessons of animals, like you're seeing them and you're talking, well, see these, like these birds do this and this, and you're like, that's very efficient. Maybe we as humans should do some of these. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We can learn a lot from nature about our own selves and lives.
Yeah.
And I think Bitter Lake is an opportunity to not only learn about what's here in our own backyard, but also, educate our kids, our adults, and everyone to have a little bit more understanding and respect for the place you call home.
And there's so much to learn. I mean, if you're into reptiles, you're into insects, you're into birds. Or you're into rocks or whatever. It's crazy.
I'm kind of curious. We got a little bit of time here. When you talk about some of the Indian hunting grounds out there from the buffalo hunting back in the days. Do they have archaeologists that go? Is there like caves and stuff that have paintings?
We have our regional archaeologists that go through sites.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we are kind of sensitive about that because we do have people that go out and
treasure hunter type
stuff.
No, you want
but there is people don't realize in this Roswell area. I mean, we had hundreds of bison all over the place. I mean, they would migrate through here and you could go down certain areas on the bluffs and find still bones and fragments of some of the bison herds that were hunted by natives.
Are any of on the Bitter Lake property there, any of like the caves that they would live in?
We have scattered stuff. We don't have many caves. We have sinkholes. There's sites throughout the valley, Pecos Valley. And
and I knew because I've talked to some people. They'll go out to like some of these caves out in the middle of nowhere, and they were like where the Native Americans would kind of use as camping areas while they're on the hunting. And a lot of times they would put their hunting stories on the walls of and talk about the big hunts and things.
Exactly.
So I didn't know if any of that was
we don't have any petroglyphs
kind of migrated down here
into
this area.
The other thing is to kind of just remind everybody, because there are some people that want to collect arrowheads and whatever. The refuge pretty much is closed to
treasure hunting
access.
and all that kind of
the areas the public can go is on the wildlife drive.
Gotcha.
And when we have special tours, we'll take people behind the scenes.
Although if there's certain groups and special opportunities, you never know, you may get and this is where I'll talk about Friends of Bitter Lake. That's where some of those perks. Maybe there's a project or something that takes you out there and they need some of the friends to go. You get a chance to kind of go behind the scenes and be a part of that as you're serving. and doing some of that. So who knows? As a friend of Bitter Lake, maybe you get a chance to go to see some of the parts of the refuge that the public does not.
We've talked about some of the stuff where if some of the members, because we network with other refuges, then you may be able to have a special field trip to another refuge where we'll take you behind the scenes of another refuge.
Sure, and they've got certain areas they let you in and
we
out.
Might just to kind of but normally, it's something that we try as much just the general public to have access to all these things.
But certain areas you want nature just to let it take its course, and you want as limited human contact in those areas as possible, so nature can do its thing without us getting in the way sometimes.
It's like nesting season during that time period, You
don't want to spook animals and things there. Right. It's a very vulnerable time for them, and the last thing they want is people around them that they seem as predators.
Well, and you mentioned earlier too about how the difference between a state park and a national wildlife refuge, and even when I was a park ranger, where we have different policies and how we work compared to a national wildlife refuge. A national park, if it was a national park, hunting was not allowed. But on a national wildlife refuge, we do have a lot of history with hunting.
Sure.
Hunting is allowed there. So it's
a valuable tool for the ecosystem.
Yes.
That's something.
Calling.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many, we hear hunting stories across, the internet and all this, and Africa and all that. But at the same time, their hunting has a very important tool in some of these ecosystem things. And matter of fact, this is something to do with Bitter Lake, but I was seeing a thing about in Africa, how they actually had to hunt a couple of the giraffes in the herd because they were actually hindering the population because they were older but couldn't. I guess the way giraffes work is there's like the male that kind of does its thing with the females, and he kind of collects a group. It just kind of naturally happens. But as some of these giraffes get older, they're collecting, but they're not populating. And so they have to kind of let a new buck sort of kind of step up to the plate. So they will hunt the non-productive one to keep the herd going. And that's kind of some of the tools they use for hunting in ecosystems.
Well, one of the points I was trying to make, just the differences of the different agencies, like National Park Service, you got the Forest Service, BLM, all these. We have our missions and there's focuses, and going back to the refuge system, our focus there is wildlife. We focus on making sure we have the best habitat. We protect endangered animals. That's our mission. Where we do this public use stuff, that's not the priority of the refuge system, but because the lands belong to the American public, we try as much as we can to get the people to get able to see
where
some of
the state
stuff.
Park mindset is this is
recreational,
land, but it's here for you to come and enjoy leisure,
recreational use.
Whereas,
like you said.
Whereas your mission is we want to preserve it for the education of future people.
Correct.
And so we want it to be accessible to people, but to learn from, not to recreate at. And that's the big difference.
Yeah. Right. And then the hunting part, when you mentioned about the hunting, we have different seasons and different depends. And people always ask, how come you hunt on a wildlife refuge? There's a lot of history behind there. Many of the hunters that in the past were some of the first people to initiate the movement of trying to protect regulations and all that stuff. And then the other thing too is for especially waterfowl, hunters have to buy a federal duck stamp, and that's a user fee where that money goes into purchasing habitat for wildlife.
So the money used to buy the licensing goes back to ecological programs.
And then not all animals. There's only certain animals that are hunted, and they're hunted under strict regulations. Where we're not advocating to go hunt some rare bird, but that rare bird may use the land and otherwise would not have been protected had it not been for the monies.
And of course, if the populations get skewed there, where now it's starting to impact another animal, then you've got to
do some down.
You've got to do some kind of juggling there to get the balance back in.
Exactly. It's the same thing with our water use at the refuge. We have to juggle water use for, we have the endangered Pecos sunflower. We have to flood fields because it has to have the water, but then we have to be careful of how we manage for our rare fish that are at the refuge. So it's a balance.
You don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul here.
That's right. It's a very fascinating management program.
Sure, and obviously it's harder to do that when you just freely let people come in and do what they want there. And that's why you have the permits. That's why you have the things. It really is. At the end of the day, it's there to protect our home.
Correct.
And to educate us better on how to protect our home ourselves. Right. And being a good steward of the land, we're part of the food chain just like everybody else. We got to be good stewards to that. Take what we need, but not take what more than we need, right. And understand that kind of thing.
And I'd have to say over the years, we have had a really good relationship with the local community. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just amazing how much, one year we didn't have the Dragonfly Festival we didn't have enough volunteers.
Yeah.
And man, we had people all over. Hey, when are you going to do the festival? Just kind of.
Sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder a little bit. And maybe with COVID in the way here, that's going to set up for a big fall here where people are anxious. And so numbers might be bigger than normal because they're anxious to come out and participate. And if you've never been to Dragonfly Festival, it's great. I'll tell you, just pro tip, as about a month or two out when we start promoting this event, the sooner you can sign up for tours, the better, because they fill up fast. The Dragonfly tours, the bird tour, the wildlife.
As soon as we announce it, get on there.
They get. We'll tell you how when it happens, but basically get your reservations. It's free, but it fills fast.
The other thing too is if we have any teachers out there that are listening, we'll be starting the Dragonfly poster contest here fairly soon.
Okay.
We'll be getting out the instructions.
So be looking for that in your inboxes and all that soon.
Exactly. Yeah, because we normally get around 800 entries, and it's kind of cool for the person to win. It's basically K through 5th grade. And
if I remember right, your drawing is like the theme for that Dragonfly Festival.
Exactly, you're right.
And you're on all the literature and artwork and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, the winner, their drawing gets posted.
Yeah. You're kind of the visual representative of that year's Dragonfly Festival.
And I've run into kids that, like I said, been here since 2000, and there are adults now, and they'll remind me, hey, Mr. Alvarez, I won the Dragonfly contest, whatever,
20 years ago.
It is cool. And we have a bunch of talented kids in our community. Because the artwork I see every year is... I'm kind of like, man, how are they going to outdo that next year? But they manage to every year. They just,
I know you get to see the winners.
Yeah.
You should see all of the ones that
are close.
We just couldn't quite get
start
to.
the arguments up on who deserved better.
This is. And
maybe one year we'll have to do a collage of them and just kind of
we might do that.
The honorable mentions.
We might have to get you as a judge. We always try to get different judges in the
I would love to do that, but I don't know if I want that kind of pressure. That sounds like a lot of
No, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I don't want to deny some kid the opportunity of having an awesome picture here. I don't want to be the fall guy. I don't know. That radio guy picked it. I don't know.
We get 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, I do that.
Normally about 5 judges. So it's kind of fun.
I'd do it. If you want me to, I'd be happy to do it.
That'd be great. That'd be great. We'd love to have you.
But so kind of mark it on your calendars. We'll give you dates here, but think about September time frame here. We'll start seeing all the and like you said, the fall festivities that are kind of the bigger opportunities at Bitter Lake will be happening this year. So
and we're open 7 days a week during daylight hours.
Yeah.
You can drive around, and you'll like I said, you might not see something one day, but the next day you might see something really, really
cool. So
like
right now, if you go today, you can go to the gift shop.
You can go to the gift shop on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay. And then is that about it? Can you drive around the refuge?
You can drive. The refuge is
open all the time.
All the hiking trails.
But please be good stewards. Stay on the trails. Stay on the paths. The more you venture off, you're going to get in trouble if you get caught. But the more damage you're doing out there, you really are. You're doing.
And we got a rough officer out there. He's really mean.
Well, I imagine a lot of people just get lost or turned around. And that's most of the time.
That.
It's not intentional. They just kind of like, hey, what's that bird over there? And they get curious nature. Curious curiosity killed the cat sometimes.
The problem is, you get out there, you might destroy something that we really don't want destroyed. Step on a bird nest or something.
Yeah, we know there's so much coolness out there that we want to make sure that your grandkids can come out there and get to enjoy the same experience that you enjoyed today.
That's why we call it a refuge.
Yeah,
because it's a way for the animals to get a refuge away from
from us.
From us, yeah. They're protected. So
Absolutely. If anybody has any questions or anything, what's the best places to reach out right now?
If you want something to do with the friends,
okay.
If you want to get involved with the friends, give me a call.
Okay.
575-495-3325.
Okay.
And that phone is pretty much with me, but if for some reason I can't answer or won't answer,
leave a voicemail.
Leave a voicemail.
Don will get right back to you.
I'll get back to you.
And Steve, anything Bitter Lake related?
Yeah, if you want to contact me, if you're volunteering for like the Friends, call Don. And, we do have projects that the refuge does that, from working on a butterfly trail to picking up trash to help organize things. You can call me at 575-914-3332.
Very good.
All right.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate the visit. We'll get you guys in here in the coming. Even if we do something every month or two, just to say, hey, spotlight a certain bird or animal or plant or something out there. I'd love to do that. That'd be fun.
That'd
So
be cool.
as we get, as you guys get time and availability, love to have you guys do that.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, too.
All right. It is closing on 9 o'clock. Quick break before news.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Call someone about the plumbing.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent. Someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians near Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Storms and blustering winds.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Pennsylvania through Tuesday morning. National Weather Service meteorologist Mark Chenard says roads in inland areas of Georgia and the Carolinas are icy.
Those areas are below freezing this morning, so any roadways that did melt or did get wet, or there's likely still some roads with snow on it. So there will be some travel difficulties through at least the first part of today in areas that saw wintry weather. It's not really until later that we start warming up.
New York City is expected to be spared most of the snowfall. Also at townhall.com, in the latest developments now, police in England say they're questioning 2 teenagers about a hostage situation at a Texas synagogue, although the FBI says it appears the suspect acted alone.
The Greater Manchester Police have not named the suspects detained on Sunday or whether they face any charges. They describe them as teenagers in custody for questioning. Authorities have identified the hostage taker as 44-year-old British national Malik Faisal Akram. He was killed on Saturday night after the last hostages ran out of Congregation Beth Israel near Fort Worth. The FBI says it appears Akram was acting alone. He'd arrived in the US recently on a tourist visa from the UK. London's Metropolitan Police say its counter-terrorism group is liaising with US authorities about the incident. Charles de Ledesma, London.
The drama is now over. The Australian Open has started without 9-time champ Novak Djokovic. The focus finally on tennis. Djokovic heading home after losing a legal battle to have his visa reinstated. More at townhall.com.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated, price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For a free quote, call 800-523-3771. That's 800-523-3771. 800-523-3771. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
There's more trouble for the former Prime Minister of Israel. We have the latest from the Media Line's Michael Friedson.
Prosecutors in Israel have reportedly rejected a plea bargain request by former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. With his trial for 3 separate corruption cases in the evidentiary stage, the nation's longest-serving prime minister reportedly offered to do public service and pay a large fine, but the deal would include only 3 months of public service and no jail time. Netanyahu is said to have demanded dropping charges of bribery and pleading guilty to 2 counts of fraud and breach of trust. He's also demanding that his transgressions not be labeled as moral turpitude. That would leave the door open for his return to politics in the future. The offer was said to have been rejected. I'm Michael Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. The tsunami threat around the Pacific from a huge undersea volcanic eruption has receded, but the massive ash cloud covering the tiny island of Tonga prevented surveillance flights from New Zealand to assess the extent of damage. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says aiding Tonga is a top priority.
A clear indication that has come from Tonga is the need for water. The ash cloud has, as you can imagine, caused contamination. That's on top of already a challenging environment in terms of water supply, and so that's what the Defence Force are very focused on.
The eruption created a sonic boom that could be heard as far away as Alaska. Amazon's British website backing away from plans to stop accepting Visa credit cards issued in the UK as talks between the sides continue. Amazon had announced that move back in November, blaming the high fees Visa charges for processing credit card transactions. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
That's right.
Hope all of you are having a great day so far. And for those off today, are enjoying that time off of work and with family, friends, or honeydews, or whatever you got going on today. Or maybe some you time.
Yeah.
Some much-deserved you time.
Yeah, I think so. That's a good way to celebrate it.
Yeah. I love you time.
Just,
or me time.
Join,
your time is you time, my time. I like
you can go, find some folks in the community and join hands and singing the word of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty we're free at last. But you do you. It's totally up to you. Personally, I plan on celebrating MLK and my BVDs with some MREs.
Ooh.
That's what I'm going to do.
We are going to do the MREs this hour.
Yes.
We're going to sample those. We're going to cook them, right?
Yeah.
In the heat tours?
In the hole. According to instructions, should we go ahead and...
Well, we have to. We got a whole hour here. So we got time.
We do.
But
I wasn't sure if you were going to do the interview or what.
I don't think we're going to have time. I think it's going to eat up the time, but we'll see.
I see what you did there.
I want to devote good quality time to MRE preparation.
To good quality food.
Well, I'm like this spaghetti one. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, this don't scare me. Between
the two, I'm a little more nervous about that.
Really?
Yeah.
The taco, just because I know MRE history and I know how MREs turn out, and anything with pasta in it is usually pretty good.
Fair enough.
When they get creative with sandwiches and things, that's where I'm like, all right, this might be weird.
Packaged
and
bread,
so
I
the
worry about.
taco makes me a little nervous.
But if it's like tortilla in there, I mean, I figure you can package those pretty successfully. I'm just.
Or are they going to be like those Pacquiao chips that were so desertedly dry and
probably.
nasty that
so it's more like a cracker than a.
Well,
than a
to be
tortilla.
honest, the tough part for the Pacquiao chip challenge wasn't the heat; it was the dryness of those chips and the staleness of those chips.
Right.
It was so god awful. The heat was an afterthought for me. If that chip was like a fresh chip, I probably could have ate it in one bite and it wouldn't have been so bad. But because it was so stale and so dry, you could not get that thing down without chewing it into a full powdered meal and then swallowing it, which gives all kinds of time for those heats to spice to get stirred up in your mouth. Which is the freshness of said tortilla will be a big thing if they do use a tortilla.
Yeah, I'll be curious.
Corn or flour. I'm not sure which they're going to use, but I'm thinking in my head it's going to look like a corn tortilla Taco Bell style taco. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like old El Paso looking taco is what I'm thinking. But I don't know. So I'm of these two, I'm more apprehensive about the tacos. I'm thinking this one's probably going to be pretty A-okay.
Yeah,
I think so. In my opinion of eating many MREs over the years. Now I haven't eaten one in 20 plus years.
Sure,
but
yeah, I'd be curious. I'm curious, Drew. I'm gonna go grab some water because I figure we're probably gonna need.
We're gonna need water. Yes. Maybe a utensil or two, depending on how many people partake in said MRE. I know there's usually one in each bag, but maybe Tanner would like to try some of our tacos or spaghetti or something like that. So, yeah, we're going to do that this hour. Sean procured a couple of MREs. We got to talking about these last week, and he got some thanks to his girlfriend, and he procured two. Spaghetti
Thanks, Jazz.
with beef and sauce. And what's the official taco one say on
It's
that?
it's menu 6 beef taco al. I don't even know what language that is. Beef
taco al
beef
must be French,
maybe. But I'm assuming there's utensils in here because it's
Oh yeah, spaghetti in sauce a la viande de beef.
It says peelable seal. I'm not seeing how that can peel. There it goes. All right, so I guess we're gonna crack one open, or you gonna save the taco for last?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's see what's inside it first.
Okay.
And just see what our whole meal consists of.
All right.
Because it's more than spaghetti. There's
like
usually
sides.
dessert and some kind of crackers or appetizers or something of that nature. So I'm curious what they pair these fares with. So he's got the taco one.
The beef taco, we've got our, let's see, the beef taco mix, a nut raisin mix with pen-coated chocolate discs. So
all right, that's new. I've never had that.
Like Gorp, essentially, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
like a trail mix.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Let's see. Ooh, got the cheese spread.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm
I'm
guessing, can't go wrong with the cheese
I'm guessing
spread.
there's going to be some crackers.
I don't know
in
if that's
here.
on your tacos or for the crackers.
Okay, you got your chiclets. Let's see.
That's for your coffee and your Tabasco
Yeah.
sauce.
Got your coffee.
Matches.
You got your, a book of matches in there. A
TP.
couple books of matches, actually.
Ooh, they give you 2 books. They
Ooh,
up
and
their
check this
game.
out. These matches are designed especially for damp climates, but they will not light when wet or after long exposure to very damp air.
So they're water resistant.
Water resistant, right? Got your ooh, it is
your
good quality.
a sturdy spoon. Yeah,
Good
they
quality
don't.
spoon.
They give you a good spoon.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Now, this is, I'm guessing, the heater.
That's the heater. Yeah.
Okay, the heating pad. This would be the Santa Fe rice and beans.
Okay.
Okay, and then tortillas.
Oh, so you got to build your own.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's like a whole
okay.
thing.
All right.
So
now I follow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that'll be interesting.
So, yeah.
Sounds like a lot of work there. We'll have to get some work
There's quite a few steps here.
All right, I'm going to go through the spaghetti one here.
All right.
All right. First up.
It's like Christmas.
First up is what is this? Okay. Spaghetti with beef. Okay, this is spaghetti right here.
It's like camera one.
Spaghetti right here.
Uh-huh.
Here we got.
I guess like a garlic bread, maybe.
It is Italian breadsticks.
Ooh,
that's what this is.
Fancy.
They don't feel very stick-like, but I'll take their word for it.
Sure.
We got bag de accoutrement. That comes with tissues, iodized salt, chiclets, beverage-based lemonade. A little lemonade for us, if you would like to partake, and a moist towelette.
Do you heat up the cheese packet, or
no, you don't have to.
You just need it.
You need it for to make it soft. Peanut butter.
Ooh,
we scored some
nice.
gum and peanut butter.
Some of the nut butter.
Super sturdy spoon.
I will say this: the one thing that's nice about the military is they put very clear instructions on everything.
Yeah. Ooh, grape jelly.
Ooh, you could have yourself a Sammy.
We got a PB&J situation.
Dang,
going
all
on.
right.
What else we got? Chocolate chip toaster pastry.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
I'm in.
That's a Pop-Tart.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm making me happy the more I open this and read it.
It's like Christmas, I'm telling you.
Milk chocolate cocoa beverage powder.
Holy moly, you hit the jackpot on this one.
Yeah, I told you spaghetti one's usually pretty good.
It's like a dessert pack.
Spaghetti one's pretty good.
Got yourself spaghetti, you got a PB&J, and that's your heating element.
Heating element, and one bag of raisins.
Ooh.
And here's your
nutrition. Yeah, I like the fact
nutritional guide. That's new. That was not there back. I guess this is to put your stove in.
Oh yeah.
It's a little sleeve for your stove.
Nice.
See, they don't have the printed up on rockers.
Here's the 5 R's for optimal recovery. 1. Replenish energy stores often. 2. Repair muscles. 3. Replace fluids and electrolytes. That's what plants crave. 4. Reduce fatigue. And 5. Rest and recover for the next mission.
There you go.
Nice. It actually breaks it down. Check this out. It's got 80 to 120 grams of carbs, 15 to 25 grams of protein, and 16 to 32 ounces of fluids.
Okay.
Neat.
I love how, like, for instance, the milk chocolate cocoa beverage powder, for use, allow water just chemically purified to stand in 30 minutes. So you got dirty water before adding. Tear pouch at notch, open zipper, add 6 ounces of hot or cold water.
Ooh.
1/4 of your canteen cup. To fill to line, close zipper, shake to mix, consume promptly within 1 hour. Single use only. So we got to drink it within an hour once we mix it.
This is the hot beverage bag. Okay, here's the heating element. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure it actually says rock or something. Still rocking that.
All right. Well, what do we want to cook first?
I'm thinking the spaghetti first.
All right. So
we'll probably get them both cooking at the same time.
So with this new sleeve, so basically you just slide it, you fill it, slide it and fill it to the deal, right?
Okay,
if I remember right.
Yeah, you take the, hang on, there's instructions on here. You take this thingy, the sleeve, you put the heating element in here along with, you put this in here once you put the water in. Put this in like this,
okay.
I think, as I've gathered it. And then I guess you put the spaghetti on top, or in this case, the taco and the beans on there.
Okay.
Like that.
All right.
And I think you just put it up against a rock or something and let it do its thing.
Yeah, you got to put it inside the thing.
Right.
Yeah, you got to open up the bag here.
Right. Yeah, I haven't added the water yet. I'm just trying to get it all pre-constructed.
All right. So
this is riveting radio.
I'm going to go ahead and open this bag.
Uh-huh.
Since this spaghetti one, we'll get her going.
Get the water.
I need water. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will do is where's my spaghetti? There it is. All right. Spaghetti in here. In le bag de open. If it open. I ripped it. Yeah, this is riveting radio. You're right.
Fill to which line? Okay, so we fill it just to the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do not overfill.
Yeah, that's not good.
Duly noted.
And it's going to emit some smoke. Just warning you.
Once you fold it over, that's...
Yeah, it's going to emit some things. Man, these things are...
I don't think you put that in the... Do you? Let's see.
They used to. That's how it used to work.
Yeah, place MRE pouch in bag with heater. Okay.
Yeah, that's how it's always been back in the day. And you slide this bad boy in. Let's get in the way of the little dealio. One side there. Sorry. I know this is exciting, but it'll be worth the wait for nobody except us. Man, these are like smaller. They used to be like less roomy. So now we got that. Let's take some water. Pop this bad boy in to the fill line. seal that up and place it in the sleeve that they provide us here. I can already feel it getting warm. And away we cook. Are you doing yours now?
I'm just going to get it started heating.
Okay, here's some water.
So we can enjoy.
All right, I'm going to let that, I need a rock or something.
Right. I was going to say we didn't plan this accordingly. Oh, canteen.
Yeah, there you go. There's my or something. All right. So while those percolate, I guess we should do the weather.
Probably should, do the weather.
Here, I'm going to pass this water back, but I want to put the top back on before
good
I do that. It is 9:18 while our spaghetti cooks.
And or tacos.
Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days. We have high pressure in place over the southwestern states. We'll hit the low 60s on our afternoon high today. Could get a little bit breezy later on in the day. Wind gusting to 25 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine. Low 30s and clear for the overnight hours, and then quite a bit warmer and windy on Tuesday. Sunshine and our high going up to about 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, did I refresh my weather? Did I? I did not. I was too busy making MRE spaghetti. There we go. Currently, 38 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 23%. Winds currently out of the north at 9 miles per hour. For today, enjoy today. Arguably, this is the nicest day of the week. Arguably. Today, mostly sunny, high of 64. Winds will be out of the northeast at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 35. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, we have a fire weather watch that will kick in at 11 a.m. and remain in effect through 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. It's going to be warmer tomorrow. It's sunny with a high of 72, but the winds will be up out of the west 5 to 15 miles per hour early, increasing later in the day 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. For Tuesday night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 37, west winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, those winds on Tuesday bring in cooler temps really for the rest of the week. On Wednesday, sunny skies, high of only 56, north winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 25 Wednesday night. Thursday, we're looking at a rain chance. They're saying there's a chance, like a 20% chance of rain showers happening on Thursday. Mostly sunny, high of only 41. So, yeah, Thursday's going to be chilly. Thursday night, mostly clear, overnight low of 29. Friday, sunny with a high of 54. Saturday, sunny, high of only 49. And then Sunday, sunny with a high of 56. So, see what I'm saying? Enjoy today. It's probably the nicest day of the week, potentially here. All right, it is 9:21. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break. Sean looks like he's got his meal in the oven. We're gonna do a break here and stuff. We'll be back. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. Don't go away. The fun part's about to happen.
Coming to the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center in Artesia, New Mexico, Thursday, February 3rd, the Sons of the Pioneers. Like generations of fans who have enjoyed their unique style of music, you'll be amazed at their musicianship, mesmerized by their unique vocal harmonies, and laugh at their humor. The Smithsonian Institute has named the Sons of the Pioneers as national treasures, and two of their signature songs, Tumblin' Tumbleweeds and Cool Water, are in the Grammy Hall of Fame. They'll take you to the great American West in songs of prairies, canyons, night herds, gunfighters, horses, and wide open spaces. If you like the West and the American cowboy, you're going to love this show. Sons of the Pioneers, live in concert February 3rd at the Ocotillo Performing Arts Center. Tickets are only $35 for adults. Children K through 12 are only $25. For seat and selection and ticket purchasing, log on to ArtesiaArtsCouncil.com. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
You may have heard of SmartHub. SmartHub is Central Valley Electric's online tool for members to manage their electric account. With SmartHub, not only can you securely pay your bill online, you can view your detailed electric use 24 hours a day. You can report an outage while staying up to date with the latest co-op news, compare past and current electric use. Sign up for paperless billing or reoccurring payment so that your payment is never late. The best thing is you can access Smart Hub from your computer, tablet, or smartphone so it goes everywhere you go. Visit cvecoop.org to get started or give us a call.
Up your spotting game with the help of Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Zia Guns USA is now an authorized full-line Tacticam dealer. The same scopes, cameras, and spotting equipment that the big boys use on TV. So now you can capture your hunt like never before. Zia Guns USA in Roswell also has a new shipment of knives by Benchmade and Case. Come check out the amazing selection for yourself. Take your hunt to the next level with Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Closed on Saturdays but open on Sundays at 1907 North Main in Roswell.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
What does it mean to be a world-class university? To start, being ranked in the top 2% of universities in the world, and to be the only designated R1 highest research activity university in the state. It's about creating the most opportunities for students, and at the University of New Mexico, we do just that by offering affordable, top-tier education year after year and awarding millions in scholarships to our students. So, what are you waiting for? Apply to UNM at apply.unm.edu.
Times are changing, and today's funerals aren't always the sad and solemn events you might expect. This is Gabriel Casaus from Lagrone Funeral Chapel. Along with hymns and scriptures, today's funeral services are often filled with fish stories, country songs, and a joke or two, golf clubs and hot rods, favorite recipes, and kitchen disasters. At Lagrone Funeral Chapel, we believe a funeral should reflect your loved one's personality, passion, and sense of humor. When you lose a loved one, we're here, because at Lagrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
900 South Main, Roswell.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 26 minutes after 9 o'clock, so our MREs are cooking. Spaghetti and the taco meats in the heaters as we speak. As soon as Sean comes back, maybe we'll try some of the side stuff here. Like, for instance, like in my spaghetti one, I got peanut butter and jelly right here, see? But I really don't have anything to put them on. I got the spaghetti. I got raisins. I guess you can mix that. That'd be weird, but I guess it's edible. And I got a chocolate chip toaster pastry. I guess I could put peanut butter on that and jelly. That'd be all right. But the only bread they gave me was Italian breadsticks. They're not sticks, by the way. They're flat. But if they're like got Italian seasoning on it, that's not going to be good with peanut butter and jelly. So I don't know. We'll have to play that one by ear. And then they gave a bag of raisins, which I have no desire to care about. I'll open and eat one because they're raisins. But, you know, one thing I noticed these MREs are missing, and this is, I don't know if modern times, but the little bottle of Tabasco's not in here no more. Maybe they stopped doing that. The chiclets are still here. And it's missing the candy that they used. I guess maybe the raisins and maybe those are healthier options now or something. And this toaster pastry, whatever it is. But like they would give us back in the day, there would be M&Ms that are old, like in the 90s when I was eating these things on the regular. There would be like M&Ms, plain M&Ms in there, and it'd be like proud supporter of the 1988 Olympic team. So they're kind of missing those. Then I don't notice any of that.
I'm guessing there was like some brand issues because none of this stuff is branded anymore.
Yeah, and maybe just a contractor or whatever they got to do all this stuff. So, or maybe they just had a bunch of extra M&Ms and said, "We'll give them to the military and they'll feed their people with it."
Like even this, it's nut raisin mix with pan-coated chocolate discs. Like not even like a brand of chocolate.
So I'm figuring while the others are cooked, we can open some of these ancillary ones. Let's open that one. Whatever you got.
The nut mix. All right. So
this is like Gorp or trail mix.
This is what I'm talking about. Pan-coated chocolate discs. They're M&Ms.
Okay.
They're M&Ms with no label on them.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. They lost their branding deal with Mars, I'm guessing. And some Gorp.
Some trail mix.
All right.
A lot of nuts.
Oh, it's very peanut heavy.
Yeah. Tastes like trail mix.
Yeah. Is that hazelnut? Fancy. Eating stuff on the radio, folks.
I'm trying to try these M&Ms. See what's going on there.
Yeah, it just tastes like an M&M. I was very disappointed that there's not like a marking on it. Didn't have the budget for the little M's.
I guess not.
So yeah, just some trail mix.
You want me to even open these raisins?
I mean, I do.
Okay. Because
you forget I'm a raisin fan.
Good. I mean, they're just like those raisins. Their little tear deal here.
Yeah, it's like should be on one side. Once again, thank you to Jazz for supplying these, and also to the U.S. Army. Ultimately,
all I can think of is Good Morning Vietnam. Thank you to the U.S. Army, a sweeter smelling army. All right, here's some raisins.
Look up some raisins. Heck yeah. Oh.
These are weird raisins.
They're not good.
Sure, they're raisins, not rabbit pellets.
They're I don't know. I'm used to raisinette raisins, and those maybe they're sweeter. I don't know.
These are kind of flavorless.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of like the Sun-Maid.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave the box like on your fridge for a year, that's what this tastes like. It was just stale.
We can save those for your oatmeal on Friday.
Military grade. Let's see if the matches work. Would you want me to brew some coffee?
I don't like it. What now? Did you get red chiclets? What's going on? What's the red thing in yours? That's different than mine.
It's just chiclets, but it's in a red
package. Oh, okay.
I can just see it's there.
Notice there's no Tabasco bottle.
No, there's not. There's
That's gone the way of the dodo.
Okay, so there's another beverage in here. There's an orange beverage.
Okay, I got a lemon one in mine.
Type 3, which is, as opposed to if you actually drink it, you'll get type 2. Got some coffee. Hang on. No, that's tea. It's decaf. Okay. Decaf coffee. All right.
Did I get coffee? I don't think I got coffee.
Coffee didn't really go with
spaghetti?
Yeah.
I thought they gave it every meal, though.
Some creamer, a little sugar.
Yeah, I got all that.
All the good stuff. Ooh, a moist towelette.
Yeah, I got lemonade. That's what I got. Lemonade and salt.
Let's see how so you can set off the sprinkler system. Yeah, it works.
There you go.
I love it's the weird thing with me, but I love the smell of a match. I've always loved that smell.
All right, what do you want to try next?
All right, so I mean, how long do these have to cook? Do they have like a set time? Like of all the instructions, there's no set.
Yeah, I think it's just to your preference of heat.
Yeah.
So let's do them last.
All right.
Let's let them keep cooking.
Keep on cooking. Cool.
Yeah. Is it warm?
It's getting there. Yeah, definitely. It's heating.
Yeah, it's getting warm.
So you got peanut butter and jelly, but nothing to put it on.
Yeah.
There's no like crackers, no.
The closest thing I got is either Italian bread or maybe this chocolate chip toaster pastry.
Oh, I bet you could do it on that. Yeah.
Do you want to do that next?
I mean, I figured, we got time to kill.
All right, let's open this one up. I'm curious what these.
I'm still kneading my cheese spread over here.
Curious to see what these. Ooh, this could be a problem.
Oh, it's crumbly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if we're putting peanut butter on this.
I don't think it's a whole pastry.
Well, it's broke
Don't clog the instruments.
It's broke all. I'm trying to excrete it without ripping it.
Yeah, it's pretty busted up.
Yeah.
So
maybe it's not too bad.
No.
So
they even put a little design on it. Look at that.
Looks like a Pop-Tart from the 1930s.
Mm-hmm. It's like a sad old Pop-Tart.
You want to try it au naturel?
Yeah, let's crack off a little piece.
All right, I'm going to tear off a little piece and pass it over. Ooh. All right, I might be in. Look at the inside of that.
Ooh, it is chock full.
Uh-huh.
All right. Pieces in here. How's it go? Pastry.
It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes not fresh, but it's bad. Not bad.
It doesn't taste unfresh. You know what it tastes like? I've had a lot of the grandma's cookies, like the ones they sell at the Owl Slips. Yeah, it tastes like that.
Not bad.
Got a lot of that kind of chemically almost flavor to it. So you want to throw some of the accoutrement on there?
Yeah. What do you want to try, jelly or peanut butter?
I'm a jelly man.
All right.
Probably should knead that peanut butter before you open it.
Yeah, jelly seems pretty pretty
loose.
Yeah.
I'll pass this over on a plate so we don't drop crumbs into the console. This portion of the program brought to you by the United States Army. Go Army.
I'm trying to open this.
Leave the driving to us. That's not their slogan. Who is that? That's Enterprise. No, Enterprise is the one that picks you up.
Yeah.
Who's the one? And leave the driving to us.
Greyhound, maybe?
Yeah, it was Greyhound.
All right, I'm just going to put it on a little section here.
All right.
Little eau de jelly.
That's right. You too can dine like kings if you join the United States Army.
I'm just going to try the jelly.
It's out of the pack. All right. Break this little piece over
Tastes like
here.
grape jelly.
I can't imagine it's going to taste different. Ooh, that's nice.
Grape jelly chocolate combo.
That's nice. Here. Peanut butter up that bad boy.
All right, I'm going to try pieces on the jelly myself.
Mm-hmm.
Do a dollop right here. Just a dollop of jelly.
See, kids, that's why you join the military, so you can have your dessert first.
That's right. Go to foreign places and eat packages of food.
They let you do that.
Out of a bag.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Every time I stop kneading this cheese, it like re-solidifies.
Yeah, it'll do that.
I just like keep it moving.
By the way, I'm guessing that's for the tacos.
All right, I'm going to put it in here, see if I can warm it up a bit.
Good idea.
Put it in with my heater.
All right.
Make sure I'm not leaking here. Okay, good. Still heating. Let's see. How many did they include in here? 2 tortillas. So there's enough for each of us.
Wow.
There we go. Fancy.
2 whole tacos.
All right.
Oh, man, this peanut butter's
Oh, yeah. It's like that oil-free. Basically, okay, so when I was a kid, we got commodities. My mom would crack open the can of peanut butter and pour the oil off. Like, that's not how you're supposed to mix it in, but she wouldn't do that.
Wow.
So that's basically... Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Try a little sample here.
Put that super dry thing in your mouth. And then try to talk afterwards. And then try to whistle. With a name like Smucker's.
I like that better than the jelly.
Ooh, little noodles of peanut butter almost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not bad.
It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. For a packaged peanut butter, not bad.
If I was out in the war, I could do that.
Giving you the energy that you need to succeed.
That's the move. Put that peanut butter on that. That's the way to eat that.
That is really good.
That's the way to eat that.
That is real good. So,
all right. So what do you want to do now?
I think we're probably getting close. Do you have another break you got to do, or?
Yeah.
Pause.
Now, do we want to eat this bread with spaghetti?
I think that's the move.
Okay. So let's do this. It's 9:37. Let's pause for news and take our last break, and then we'll eat our tacos and spaghetti and the accoutrement that goes with it. Do you want to try this drink?
I'm curious, yeah.
I'm weirdly curious. Maybe we'll try to work that into. All right. Well, quick break. I got to clean my hands. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Our top story this hour, a new proposed ordinance in Carlsbad will target underage drinking of alcohol. If passed, the ordinance would punish those that provide alcohol to minors, making them responsible. The Carlsbad Community Anti-Drug and Gang Coalition is pushing the proposed social host ordinance. That was the topic of discussion at a recent roundtable with city officials and Carlsbad police. The ordinance has been largely formed after Farmington's disorderly house or social host ordinance that was created last year. Carlsbad Caverns National Park has a new leader. Carmen Chapin was presented as the new director by the National Park Service Regional Director Mike Reynolds. Chapin began her new duties on January 6th. She will oversee 46,000 acres of land, 119 known caves, and an annual operating budget of more than $5.4 million, according to the NPS statement. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
You look at this week, I said yesterday the worst day of the Biden presidency. It's really the worst week. Losing this Supreme Court decision on vaccine mandates, thank God. Sinema Manchin saying absolutely hell no to eliminating the filibuster so they can't pass their radical election bill. Oh, God forbid we have voter ID. You need voter ID for everything. They don't want voting integrity measures because they think it helps them. They have nefarious intentions. Oh, this is about civil rights. Okay, Joe never lifted a finger. He has some of the most restrictive voting laws in the state of Delaware. Instead of playing the race card the way he did, even Dick Durbin admitted it. Now Sharpton admitted it.
Check out the Sean Hannity Radio Show later today, right here.
Cash Call Mortgage is a DBA of Impact Mortgage Corp. NMLS ID 128231. Not all applicants will qualify. Equal housing lender. Licensed by California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Residential Mortgage Lending Act license number 4131083. Not licensed in all states including New York. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. Or visit cashcallmortgage.com.
Are you being denied a home loan or refi because you're a 1099 employee, self-employed, or a real estate investor? It can be frustrating, but it doesn't have to be, thanks to Cash Call Mortgage. At Cash Call Mortgage, we'll take the time to understand you and your income flow. Using 1099 income, rental income, and bank statements, you could qualify for a home mortgage or refi at a lower rate. So if you're being turned down for a home loan or refi because you're self-employed, a 1099 earner, or a real estate investor, instead of hearing denied, you could be hearing approved. To see if you qualify, visit cashcallmortgage.com or call now, 800-931-6022. That's 800-931-6022. 800-931-6022.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days. We have high pressure in place over the southwestern states. We'll hit the low 60s on our afternoon high today. Could get a little bit breezy later on in the day. Wind gusting to 25 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine. Low 30s and clear for the overnight hours, and then quite a bit warmer and windy on Tuesday. Sunshine and our high going up to about 70. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Reports. 2 in a row now for the Roswell Coyotes basketball team, girls basketball team, after winning at Rio Rancho on Friday, 33-30. Remember, Roswell had defeated Goddard in their prior game, breaking a 3-game losing streak. Well, now Roswell is sitting at 9-7 on the season. They'll be playing at home against Artesia tomorrow night. That'll be part of a boys-girls doubleheader. The Roswell boys coming off a 74-43 loss against Rio Rancho on Friday. Meanwhile, the Goddard boys are now 8-8 on the season after thumping Chaparral 85-42. 4 guys in double figures for the Rockets. Noah Reese with 18, Elijah Quiros with 15, James Torres 14, Mitchell Schooley with 14. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With an SRN News Business Report, I'm Jeremy House.
If you need a prescription from either Walgreens or CVS, you better get there Monday through Friday.
Both of the giant pharmacy chains have announced they plan to close some of their locations on weekends because of the Omicron surge that has exacerbated already severe staffing shortages. This comes as some supermarkets and retail stores are also trimming their hours as throngs of workers stay home with symptoms. Macy's, Walmart, and others say they have no choice but to cut back hours of operation until the situation improves. Ken Lorman reporting.
Credit Suisse says its chairman has resigned following an internal investigation that reportedly turned up that he had violated quarantine rules intended to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. It was the resignation of Antonio Horta Osorio. With an SRN News Business Report, I'm Jeremy House.
I read a quote once that said, "When you blame others, you give up your power to change." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
We all want to play the victim at times. It even feels good to feel sorry for ourselves. But that puts a lid on our life. It stunts our growth, it damages our marriages, and if you have children, it can even hurt them.
It can seem like a daunting task to take responsibility for our actions. But the Bible says in Philippians 4:13, we can do everything through Christ who gives us strength.
If you've never experienced the love of God, then you don't know your true potential and don't realize how good God is. When you're feeling like a victim, turn to God. He'll give you the strength to move beyond yourself and help you have a victorious marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
It's a celebration. The Roswell Nissan New Year Savings Event is on. It's 2022 and time for a new ride. Hi, this is Mikey Reeves, new general manager at Roswell Nissan. Come celebrate with us and save big on new 2021 and 2022 Nissan Titans, Altimas, and Sentras. Plus, during Roswell Nissan's New Year celebration, get payments as low as $83 a month and top dollar for your trade-in. It's a New Year celebration at Roswell Nissan's New Year Savings Event, but hurry in. All offers end January 31st.
Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
Yes, Miss Tubbs. No problem. I'll call someone about the plumbing.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent.
Custodial team is not
Someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians near Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:46. It's time for the main course.
Time to eat. I wanted to wait and do this on the...
We've been messing with an MRE this whole hour.
For the reveal. So this is the milk chocolate beverage.
Oh, yeah. This came with the spaghetti.
Yeah, I wanted to wait.
This is a milk chocolate beverage.
There you go.
And it required... we went with cold water, or room temperature water, actually. You can serve this hot or cold, according to the MRE.
Sir?
All right. So...
it smells like a Yoo-hoo.
It smells chocolate. It smells like a... Yeah, I think it's like a Yoo-hoo, kind of. All right, let's go.
That is not bad. Yeah, it's like cold chocolate, like hot chocolate but cold.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I'm down.
I can mess around with that.
Yeah,
all right,
that's all right.
So,
all All right, where do you want to start first?
Let's do spaghetti. I think that's probably our best bet.
Start with the spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
So
Okay.
I'm going to open the heater.
Uh-huh.
Pull our savory meal out. Maybe.
Don't burn yourself.
All right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It is out of the heater.
All right.
It's got a nice warmth to it.
So now you need like a plate or something? Here.
You know what? We got a spoon. Just use your spoon.
There you go.
I'll open it up here.
Out of the pouch.
And then we'll eat it the way the GIs do. Right out the pouch there. Now
Eat it the way drill sergeant intended.
It's got a weird ripping direction, so I don't know if I want to go with scissors on this.
You might, yeah, because Dave definitely want to
We got a pair of scissors around.
Let me see what I can track down.
Is there one in there?
I think
there's one in the other room there, but yeah, the rip thing was vertical, and this is a horizontal need of a ripping, so we can get a true. It's warm enough. You can tell now that it's hot enough because the pouch is a lot softer than it was before. So thank you.
Like a scout.
Thank you. I'll use my safety scissors here to procure a opening.
Proud of you for using those right-handed, by the way. I know the struggle.
I can't use lefty scissors.
Really?
Weirdly enough.
I can only not left-handed scissors, but I can only cut left-handed. I'm like.
All right, now these came with breadsticks too.
Yes.
So I'm going to take one bite first.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Probably could have been a little warmer, but it doesn't taste bad. It's very meaty.
Yeah.
And spaghetti.
I'm saying they make the noodles small enough or diced up enough to where you can actually, you can eat it with a spoon.
Now I'm going to take the next one and put it on
a breadstick.
A breadstick. Try it.
You're right. You know what? That tastes almost exactly like Chef Boyardee.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know because I straight up ate a can of mini raviolis out of the can yesterday.
The way the good Lord intended.
Absolutely. That's not bad.
You want breadstick?
Breadstick, yeah.
Now that with the breadstick is not bad, I got a feeling this breadstick's gross by itself, though.
I can't imagine. I mean, it looks like hardtack. All right. Try it out with a little bit of the
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Bread's not bad by itself. It's not bread. It has a weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not bread consistency.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not bad by itself. It's edible.
It tastes like it kind of tastes like packing material.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So spaggy down. Now, the taco comes with tortillas.
Yeah. You build your own tacos here.
Yeah,
So
I'm guessing, yeah. And it's also got beans and rice.
Oh, dang.
That's right. All right. So I'm going to pass you a tortilla.
Thank you.
Aye. Crack this bad boy open.
By the way, it's a tortilla.
It is a tortilla. Very small. All right. This is the taco. Okay. Bags are a little wet. Oh, I'm sorry, Sonny.
Sonny's took a dive there for the team. Oh, you want the Caesars?
Oh, no.
Oh, you just had a...
Yeah, the opening was on the side. That's why you struggled there. All right, so looks like... Woo. All right. Let's get a little dollop here.
Does it look like Alpo?
It's not pretty.
Oh, yeah, that looks like the hashes from back in the day.
Yeah, like it's all congealed into one glob.
I'm getting nervous now. That does not... That reminds me of the hashes, and I did not dig the hashes.
All right, got a little taco here. Pass that over. Ooh, it smells like Alpo. All right.
Yeah, it smells like a bargain garbage basement manwich.
Yeah. We call that Stanwich.
All right.
Okay. And you want to throw a little beans and rice and Jesus Christ on top?
I lick my spoon.
Okay. Everything's wet.
It's not just the lick spoon licking.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gross. It's not great either.
I can't imagine it's going to be, right home to mama about it.
It tastes like...
Hand me them scissors.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, it tastes like Alpo.
Now,
it tastes like low-grade meat.
Can I say, being the only person on this staff who's actually eaten Alpo? Well, I don't even know if it was, I think it was pedigree that I had. But very bland, I'm imagining.
It tastes like cheap meat with like old El Paso seasoning in it.
Ooh, it's a black bean, too. All right.
Ooh, I do love the black bean.
I enjoy a good black bean. All right, there's that. Beans and rice. Now, the question is...
Now, I'm gonna do a beans and rice by itself.
All right.
Just to say...
For the sake of sauce. I had cheese sauce in here at some point.
You know what? It doesn't taste like Mexican beans and rice, but it tastes good. It's very bland. There's like no spice in any of this.
Right. Yeah, because I imagine they're probably not wanting you guys to, or wanting their troops to, be dealing with intestinal distress down the road.
I don't know. I got a feeling you eat enough of this, you're gonna have enough intestinal distress.
Okay, so.
I take that back. There is a little spice on the back
Do we
end.
go to the cheese spread on top of the taco, you think?
Yeah.
All right.
There was a hint of spice at the end there.
All right, there we go. Little dollop there. I built this thing tall. I don't know if I'm going to be able to close it.
You built this taco on rock and roll?
Built this taco on a solid tortilla foundation. All right.
All right.
Let's see if I can make my Hispanic girlfriend proud of my folding technique. Oh, because we're going to have to go back and watch this later.
Oh, I got cheese.
She got the day off today.
Good for her.
So she's staring at the backside of her eyelids.
I would.
All right. That cheese sauce is terrible. Just the little taste of it.
Yeah, I
think we ruined this.
I licked it off my finger.
All right, you ready to dink and sink it?
Yeah, let's dink and sink.
Touch tips for luck. All right.
Salud.
Dostrovia.
May the taco be with you.
You know what's really not bad? It's very cumin heavy, which I love. I have a thing for cumin. It covers up a lot of hurt.
It's edible. Like,
dude, I could mess with that. That is not bad. The cheese sauce is terrible.
I wouldn't want to eat this every day. But if I'm fighting and this is what I got to eat, I'll be all right.
The combo of the beans and rice with the meat, it really does cover up a lot of hurt. That is not bad. Wow.
Whoa.
Like, I might actually finish this thing.
I got a hint of salt there. Woo, there's a lot of salt.
Just one glob right in the middle. Huh. Yeah. All right, military, I'd mess with this.
It's okay. I don't know if I want to finish it, though. It's something about it, just a little weird.
That glob of salt? That's the cheese sauce. Is
that what that was?
I just got it, too, and yeah. That's what that is. Woo! Turn the cheese stuff off. That is rough. But the rest of it is yeah.
It tastes like old, like, it does not taste fresh. Not even close. And that's the problem I'm having with it. I feel like I just ate a canned taco.
I can't imagine they're going to put dates on any of this stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it was made a couple years ago.
I would have to imagine, yeah, it's just been sitting somewhere. But I'm going to say not bad.
I prefer the spaghetti over the taco.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the other way. I got to go with that taco. And I think it all comes down to the beans and rice.
I do dig the beans and rice.
Like that's kind of what saves it.
The meat and cheese is not good. That meat's got a weird taste to it that I don't like. It's got an old taste or something. It's like foot.
Well, if you're complaining about the freshness of your MRE, sir, then you came to the wrong restaurant.
I know. This is I've had MREs. The spaghetti don't taste old to me. That taco tastes old.
Now, you ever watch Survivor?
I haven't recently, but yeah.
So one of the things about Survivor is when you haven't eaten anything, and this is like whenever they show like the food on like the food rewards or whatever, it always looks fantastic because it's prepared by world-class chefs and whatnot. But it takes it up a notch when you haven't had anything with flavor for dick. I imagine that taco right there would hit like hard for somebody who is like hadn't had tacos in a long time.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Man.
Because not having anything other than like SOS for the longest time.
I like it. It's different. And I like that it's not something you eat out of a pouch necessarily. And that's a change of pace. Because a lot of the meals are eat out of the pouch and go.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that they kind of add in a tortilla.
Yeah. That's the toilet paper they give you, by the way.
This is?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's your toilet paper.
There's your toilet paper.
That's what that is.
I see.
I showed you how to use that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One square. Mm-hmm.
One square.
There's quite a few squares. Hey,
they give you plenty.
You're toilet paper rich.
But they to teach you and here, can I see a sheet?
Yeah. You want one square?
Yeah, in case the public has not seen.
And this is
how the Army trains you to
incredibly
use toilet paper.
informative.
This is a piece of toilet paper that you get in your MRE.
Right, one square.
This is how this according to training.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you properly use a toilet paper from the MRE. You fold it in half, okay, and then you rip a little hole in the middle.
Right there. Yep.
In the middle, just like so, about like big enough to
put a finger in through.
Finger through.
Yep. It's like that.
And then once you got it, you put your finger right through, just like this. You clean.
Yep.
It's a visual.
Yep.
And then when you're done cleaning, you take said toilet paper
and
go right up the finger.
The finger.
And you're clean.
Wash your hands.
Now you're clean and ready to fight again.
That's right.
That's how they teach you.
And 2 knuckles deep, you're hollow.
I've yet to meet anyone that's actually done that. But that's what they train you.
Oh, and by the way, left-handed, please. Certain countries, that's it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to Jazz. Thank you to the
thanks for
Army.
relinquishing a couple of our MREs for us to try on the air.
This is a date idea that we had. We're gonna go have a picnic with MREs.
Ooh,
yeah.
I'm kind of curious what your choices will be.
Well, we have quite a few. We went through and
have
we were
another bite of the taco.
See, I'm telling you, go back. Another bite. He puts the whole thing in his mouth. You're the man now, dog. Oh, well.
What?
To those folks who listen to 92.9 The Brand, I'll play the #1 song in Texas country tomorrow morning on the Sean Small Show.
I got a little on me.
Well, better on you than in you.
On my pantaloons. Little taco on my pants.
That was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Now the cleanup.
Well, thank you very much for listening to the show.
Yeah.
Even the last hour of us just eating foods.
For some reason, that's the stuff that people love. I never understood it. I mean, I get it. I enjoy it too when I was a listener.
We had lunch with everybody today.
We had an experience. It was a mukbang.
Mm-hmm. By the way, my favorites of the thing, all of it. I gotta say that chocolate cookie thing with the like old Pop-Tart thing, that was my favorite.
That drink mix ain't bad at all.